Hello and welcome. How are you doing today? It's Wednesday, May 13th, 2026, and it's now 102 Central Time. This is We Grow Wednesday. It's all about that, that term let's grow. It doesn't just mean plants, it means us as people, growing as people. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about some different stories today, but we are also going to talk about stigma. We're going to get into stigma. We're going to do that right after this intro. So if you could help us out, guys, hit the like button, share it out with your friends, all the good things. If you want to learn and grow, if you want to have fun while you do it, come on back and send all your friends this way. We'll be right back after this intro. Let's grow.
Scrolling through the noise, stories hitting hard, cutting through the void. Big Uck pulling strings, poison in the feed. What they're selling us ain't what we need. Posting articles, lighting up the screen. Common struggle shared, know what I mean. Time to wake 'em now. We grow Wednesday, hey, stop and look around. We grow Wednesday, plant it in the ground. Grow our own, break the chains, rise up strong. Knowledge in our veins where we belong. We grow, yeah, we grow. Every soul gotta eat, fuel the fire inside. But the cause of twisting truth, trying to hide. Processed lies on shelves, stealing our health away. New tech coming fast, showing us a better way. Community talking, sharing what we find. Self-sustainable minds, leaving change behind. Digging in the dirt or digging for the truth. We grow Wednesday, hey, stop and look around. We grow Wednesday, plant it in the ground. Grow our own, break the chains, rise up strong. Knowledge in our veins where we belong. We grow, yeah, we grow. No more blind, no more fed their lies. Hands in the soil, fire in our eyes. From seed to strength, we're taking control. Empower the body, empower the soul. Wednesday rolls again, gather round the feet. Health and wellness news, planting every seed. Growing food ourselves, growing who we are. Better versions rise, shooting for the stars. Big Food's empire cracks. We won't bound time. We grow Wednesday. Hey, stop it on Wednesday. We grow Wednesday. Hey, stop and look around.
All right, we're back. We're back, and it is finally starting to feel a little bit like not quite summer, but starting to feel nice out. Starting to my mood gets boosted in this time of year because I'm like, oh yeah, I can get outside. I went for a jog with the dogs today, and you can't imagine how funny it looks with me running with a husky and a little tiny Chihuahua running down the street. You know what I mean? Like it's funny, but they get going for a little bit, and then they got to stop for a sniff, and then we get going again. But how is everybody doing out there? How's your mental health this month? We are going to talk. Oh, why is this doing this to me today? I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can. We're having some tech issues.
Weird. Yeah, as you might have seen, people that have been watching the show this week noticed that I couldn't use my headphones because they were stuck on the on position, and I couldn't use them while it was happening, and so then I had to let them die on their own, and so now they're back. We're back. I can actually walk away if I'm not tethered anyway anymore. But what I was going to
And you
say
know what?
is, go ahead.
Like I pondered the plug-in mic and the speaker on the laptop, and that wouldn't be a good plan because that mic picks up everything, so it's going to pick up what's coming through the speaker. I am on the struggle bus. I will get it figured out by next week. I'm actually
We
going to order a lightweight headset like that one that has a boom mic.
okay.
I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and pay.
Like I the only reason I like this is that I can walk around with it if I need to. If I can go step I can
Yeah.
go check on the dogs. But
Well,
if you
what I
look at the
found out
pros, they
was
have this like they do more like this. But I'm not good with these things yet. These things
I
work.
don't know what
I got
yours
it
is, but what I found
stuck
out is what
here.
I need. I need one that's not Bluetooth, but
Hmm.
wireless with the dongle. I don't know if that's what you
Yes.
use, and it's because
Yes.
what
Hmm.
we had last week was lag.
Hmm.
That's part of what I was dealing with. I was on a lot of lag, so that's what I have to fix.
It can really hit your mental health, especially if this is here we go. If this is something that you try to do, you're trying to do professionally or whatever. Here we go with my camera. I don't know what it's still on my side, but for some reason it's doesn't enjoy this camera today. I don't know what's going on. Just crazy.
Yeah.
And
I had a
I'm trying to get to this topic, which we wanted to talk about stigma. We're going to talk about stigma today, but man, it just seems
yeah.
like we got to talk about tech for a while too. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I also had a big update on my laptop. When I opened it up, I was like, shoot, I should have done it a week ago. So I had to do that, which meant flipping through all the stuff saying, skip, skip, leave me alone, give me my
Right.
desktop. Yeah.
Later, I'll mess with that later. Leave me alone. Yeah. Oh my God. What is going on?
Wow.
Um,
Interesting.
hmm. I don't know what else to do here. I'm gonna switch to OBS and see if it does something differently. I've seen this
It's
happen in
funny.
OBS, but never like this. This is a brand new thing. It's a brand new thing
Wow.
today. I love finding new things.
We're doing something new.
Yeah, it's
Funny
great.
enough, that was in my conversation with, I don't know if it was Grok or Chat GPT, where I was kind of doing my research about mics. That was the first suggestion for reducing lag was OBS settings. I'm not in control of that. I'm the remote person joining.
I don't even use OBS now for unless I have to do it for game night, which is the only way I can put
Okay.
up like that's the only way I can put like overlaid JPEGs and stuff all over the screen and move them around like they're pieces, and it's the only way I can do that. And now for some reason OBS doesn't want to use my camera either. Very strange. Do I get to have a show today? Switch to that camera. Maybe switch back. Wow. Oh, guys, sorry about that. You can still hear me. I was on an audio space earlier. I'm used to it now. We were talking about in business, why do you self sabotage? And it's a lot of times because people have this unspoken inner like limit to what they imagine they're capable of reaching. And once you have actually exceeded that limit by through accident or through hard work, you just don't feel like you're supposed to be there, and so you end up self-sabotaging. So it was a really good conversation. I'm not self-sabotaging right now, I promise. This is definitely not self-inflicted. And now, yeah, no matter how many times I restart OBS, it's just not
Oh my
going to work.
gosh.
So yeah, I wasn't using it, so now I'm going to go back to what I was doing, having to flicker the camera back on every couple minutes. It's crazy. You can hear me.
Yeah,
Thanks,
like I
Lynn.
said, this is if it was an I wish I could blame it on X, but it's not X.
Right, not this time. It's not a Facebook problem.
Darn
Rumble
it.
didn't Rumble didn't do this to me. It's probably just this camera, and it's a nice camera. It's it follows me around. It's got 4K and all that, but you can't use 4K because nothing streams into 4K, so it's kind of pointless in that regard. I could use it for
Yeah.
pre-recorded stuff and actually have some good video, some good actual clear content instead of the oh. See, my at least my camera won't go fuzzy this way.
I'm getting all the links posted.
That's okay. At least I can't go fuzzy this way anyway. Let me switch to
I'm
this.
alone.
All
You're
alone.
damaging my mental health.
Just shut off your camera, and then we'll both sit here and have a chat.
We blank Wednesday.
We talk Wednesday. Only speaking. That's all you get. Uh,
Oh my.
this is less than
At
helpful
least it's
today.
not just me.
I got the mic figured out, and now here we go with the camera. Just
I
wonderful.
had to laugh because this has been an ongoing conversation with my mentor about the energy is shifting. Like the last half of this year is going to be better. It's going to be different than the first half was, and everything that we've been waiting for is coming, right?
Mm,
But I said, "Why do I feel like everything is just so hard right now? It's such a struggle." And he goes, "That's how I know.
yeah,
Darkest before the dawn."
that's what we talked
And
about today a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, I am tripping over things. I am dropping. I literally threw my phone into a bucket of water yesterday.
Hmm.
Thank goodness these are waterproof now. It was just like, what?
Whoops.
Looking in the tub, going, well, shit.
Oh no. Yeah, it's like what they were saying is like if you don't feel difficulty, if you don't feel struggle or adversity, if you don't feel like things are getting hard for you, then that means you're in your comfort zone, which means that you're not growing, which means that you're not actually doing the thing, or you're not actually moving forward unless you don't want to grow, unless you're just somebody like I'm comfortable with this. That's my life. I'm just going to be here. This is the thing until I die. But a lot of people actually have like a little bit of ambition, a little bit of maybe something they wish they could be doing. And if you feel comfortable, typically that's because you're not moving forward, and that's kind of that rings true. Now let me just address. I got one of our sponsors in the house, Matthew from 34 Mongrels. What's up, brother? We got a bunch of friends in the chat. Let me. I hate to do this to you, Tala. Let me do a quick reboot, and let's see if that clears the
Like
air on the
restart.
camera. Yeah, restart my whole computer. So if you want to say hi and talk about stigma, talk about the space, because I didn't really catch the whole space. Maybe recap a little bit what for that if you want to. But I'll be right back. Sorry guys. Let's see if it fixes it.
All good. So, yeah, stigma. So I actually decided last night on X to do an X Spaces discussion on this topic because unfortunately there's a lot of people who they have their reservations about using cannabis even medically, which to my way of thinking, if it's something that you don't want to do for yourself, then you should be able to be mature enough to say, it's not a choice I would make for myself, but I'm not concerned with what you do. And if it helps you, awesome. That was my approach even before I needed it myself. Unfortunately, what I run into is a lot of people who have an extremely negative reaction to it. It's very aggressive. It's there's no way, and that's bad for you. And, uh, it gets a little bit wearying for me. So it was interesting to open up a space and have this conversation going, and look around and see there weren't very many people who showed up for it. And there's people who I think could have benefited from it. that I wish had been there. The same as dietary choices. I was vegetarian for the most part for 6 years. That was what I needed. I'm actually keto now. He's back. I can see you. You look clear.
I don't want to interrupt the show. Just let me, if I
Yeah.
could come, like,
I'll just
if I
finish
could,
that thought.
yeah.
Um,
Just trying to get my
so
camera.
I don't tell people you should be keto, you should be carnivore. I don't like what's on your plate's your business, right? I have friends who are vegan, vegetarian. As I said, I was vegetarian for 6 years. Right choice at the time. You know, no shade, basically. So to run into a situation where I'm around people who already know that one of the things that helped me get off of opioid medications was using medical cannabis, if they already know that, and that I was a supporter, not initially, but when I realized the benefit of it, I was a supporter of recreational legalization in my state, still am. There's some people I wish would be more responsible. They're not. Like, my niece is highly allergic. It makes her very sick. She doesn't just get the
Mhm.
sniffles, as I was saying last night. It makes her sick. So in public, it's not legal. So don't do it in like, don't blow a cloud. You know, that's not hard to avoid. You shouldn't do that with cigarettes either,
Yeah, that's
right?
just common.
Yeah,
You
good
know, if
courtesy
if you're at an
and
event
knowing that someone could
that's
be allergic,
right,
right?
if you're at a place that's like meant for that, then of course, like,
Exactly. I have no issue with that. If you go into a club that is set up that way and it's legal, have a good time. If it's your house, have a good time. But in public, it's not legal and for good reasons, and so don't do that. So that's a responsibility issue. But I still support recreational legalization. For one thing, because people like me, I don't want to be in the system. Now I realize I'm in the system because I'm registered,
right.
at that place, but I don't want the medical card. So I pay more because I'm being taxed to death, but it's because I object to the way that system is being handled. So I don't want to be a part of it. It's a choice. But that being said, there should not be this knee jerk reaction of, oh, no, God, no, I would never, just say, you know what, it's not for me. You can do that in a kind and respectful way. But I'm running into a lot of people who are really there's a lot of shade. Now, this is a problem for me because if I work with people, um, I got followers who, like me, need it medically. So I don't want them to be made to feel bad. A lot of them are afraid to talk about it.
Cheers. It's
I
420.
want them
Let's
to.
not be afraid to. Let's not be afraid. It's 420 somewhere. They say
I think you
somewhere
were
in the globe.
surprised even to find that I'm not bothered by that.
I felt
And
weird for a long time. I was like, do I? I just want
yeah.
to be. I guess
Well,
because I want
because
to be
I don't.
respectful from my end.
Yeah.
It's not just about like, do I think Tala will hate me doing this? It's more like, let me just be as respectful as possible.
That's
And I actually
conscientious.
have I told you about the time I had at least one time. I know it might have happened other times, but one time that really kind of bothered me. I had these two guys on my show, and this was back when I did We Grow Wednesday with Grow Fam, and I kind of had the Grow Fam bump, if you will. There would be a couple hundred people watching, and I don't know why they didn't translate. Where are they all at? Anyway, the the guys I had on were legitimate farmers, like big time farmers, and they were younger guys, like not younger than me necessarily, but like young guys for being like huge farmers, legacy farmers, And back then, it was nothing for me to do. Oh yeah, let's pull out the mom while we're talking. Oh yeah, yeah, And I did that, and I could see the just horror on their faces. I could just see the color drain from their skin. It was kind of
That used to be
funny.
me. I would
Yeah,
react that way.
and I kind of get it, while at the same time I don't, because you can go on to someone's show and not be for everything that person does, like um
Yeah.
and it just
Well,
and it
you
made
and
it.
I are a little more, like, mature in that regard. Some people have
Yeah,
not matured in that area. They feel very offended, and that's a choice,
I think it's
to
about
feel
control.
offended.
They want to have this illusion that
Yeah.
they're in control of their environment. It's like, you can bump up against things that are not your
Yeah.
thing. You know, like I don't understand. Like I'm not
Well,
huge on drinking. I'll drink every
yeah,
now and then,
exactly.
but very rarely. Like the people who are just out there at the watering holes, like that kind of stuff. There is a stigma to me, but to me, it's drawn from the dangers and the
Yeah,
actual negative side effects, including
because
things that
people are
I did when
comfortable
I was
doing
younger.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And
Um,
driving, that's they're very comfortable drive. I don't know if it's like everywhere, but at least in California, they lowered the limit. It's pretty much 0. I am pro on that idea because people had too much leeway to be like, "Well, it's been 2 hours, I feel fine." You may feel fine, you may think you're fine, but it's because 'cause you're used to drinking every weekend, so
Let me ask
I
you a
don't.
controversial question on that, on drinking.
Yeah.
It, do you think in a perfect world, do you think we could have a test, a driver's test for people under the influence who think they're good, they're better at driving, or they're better while they're under the influence? And you may find some people can handle it. That doesn't mean that they should necessarily. I don't want to like tackle the moral aspect of it, but if I say, hey, I'm more than fine driving after smoking, would it be interesting if we had a place where you could go and be like, okay, you're going to put you under the test or whatever. Here's like you bring your own whatever alcohol, smoke or whatever, like you think whatever it is you think that you're best at. Maybe you pay for it. Maybe people have to pay for it. There wouldn't be an instructor in the vehicle. You'd have to sign a waiver, like if as soon as you, but it's like it wouldn't be a full speed test. You're going 20 miles an
Purely
hour
for
through it.
entertainment?
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah, you could televise it too, like definitely,
I
like you
would
know
say
what,
purely for entertainment,
yeah.
maybe it's been done, you
But
know?
what if we find out though that there are people with different tolerance levels where they 100% can they have a level,
I would still say no tolerance because then hi, people saying hi to me.
yeah,
Um, the reason that you can't make any exceptions is because you can't be sure. For example, that person may think, well, the way I think I feel is a good measure, and maybe they decide to try a different alcohol you because all it all affects you differently, different types
right,
of alcohol,
that's true,
different strains of marijuana,
yes,
okay? It's all different, you don't know. And maybe they had not enough to eat that day and they think, "Well, I drank the same amount as I did last
sure,
time." Or
there's a lot of
they had
variables.
sugary foods. You just don't know. Or their health changes or their tolerance changes. Yeah, I would still say 0 tolerance,
Mm.
no exceptions.
Do you think we should outlaw eating while driving, using the radio, like all these other things that can be distractions? Like, isn't
Yeah,
that,
that's a big question.
or
This goes into the overregulation question.
with I
California
worry about it because you're
actually
driving and you're just in the back seat having a drink, like,
yeah, California actually covers this for drivers. It's called distracted driving. So it's not just the cell phone. And by the way, this is no longer a $20 fine. If you do this, it's now hundreds, even
mm,
without a commercial license, if you get caught with that phone in your hand, okay? It's not the $20 fine it started off because you've got your court costs and the fines and it adds up, and with a commercial license, it's double. So you
right.
don't even wanna play with that.
I have a thing in my
But
console that
it's
that
not
holds my
just
phone up so I can just
yes,
touch it if I want to.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not just phones. So, like, let's say you've got a coffee cup in your car and "Oh, I spilled some." You can get a ticket for that. It's distracted driving.
Mm.
So if you were eating and a cop sees you not paying attention, they could get you for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a fine line because you are like it's totally
Right. What
it's
if
kind of like the
I
individual sovereignty kind of line. Like where is the
what if
line?
I'm at a red light, right? And so I know I'm stopped, right? And I open this up because I want a snack. Is this distracted driving? It's just one hand. That's a good question, isn't it?
Right?
I think we could
What
overregulate really easily.
what if I like if I sneeze? Like I don't know about you, but it's freaky. It's freaky as hell when you sneeze while driving.
You're trying to keep your
Like
eyes open. You're
yeah,
like,
like nope, and like you're in the middle of a
have you
turn.
ever?
you
sneezed
know.
6 times in a row while driving.
Oh yeah, that's even worse. Like outlaw people, people that have allergies can no longer are no longer allowed
It's
to drive.
terrifying.
Yeah, it is scary. It's
I've had
scary.
it happen on the freeway. I'm like, "I gotta pull over."
That's some that
Yeah.
or like an itch, a fly, like a fly in your car, or like the Chris Farley
Spider.
a bee in the car or something. Ah, a bee, it's everywhere.
There have been incidents of people wrecking their car because of a spider.
Yeah, I could see that.
I can understand.
My
It was
mom in
me
the
or him.
chat. Hi, mom. She says you can be destructive by your children, or distracted by your children or pets in the car too. Yeah, children for sure. Mom, mom, mom,
I mean,
mom,
with a cat, you
mom,
stick them in a
mom.
carrier.
Yeah, mom, mom, change the channel. Mom, can we change the
Right?
channel? Mom. Yeah, and it's funny.
Uh,
Just a side note on
Stewie,
that.
"Mom, mom, mom," and
Yeah,
then he just says,
mom,
"Hi."
mom. Yeah, hi. So my mom's in the chat. Mom, I'll tell you that now we've been experimenting with different Spotify channels when I have my son in the car, and he's now into big oldies. And I grew up on big oldies in the car, big oldies
Oh,
93.3, and it was like all the old, 30s, 40s, like old type stuff. And he's so into all that stuff now. Actually, maybe more like all the way up to the 60s, I think. But yeah, he's over there singing it all along because a lot of Disney movies and TV kids shows take some of those old songs, and some of that is because it draws the adults into the show as well as the kids. These like bigger movies, just like that's why they put in adult humor a lot of times in some of these Disney movies. Sometimes it's a little bit too much, but they do that trying to like keep the adults entertained at the same time. But yeah, I totally agree, Mom. The kids can distract you. I'll crash my car over a spider, right? Chris Farley
yeah.
could do that. Spider. The bee
Just
made
realized
more
I gotta
sense in that
share to
moment.
my other Facebook page, my main
It's
one.
okay. I have to tell my the
Um,
kids to if we die, it's all over you fighting for what, right? Um, Yeah, we gonna die. You're in the car. Like we gonna die. You want?
don't make me wreck this car.
Don't turn. Forget turn this car around. We're gonna die. No, Jesus, take the
Right, where
wheel.
are we?
Take the wheel, Jesus. Yeah, that can
I
be
know I shared
crazy.
it to
Oh,
my
hey,
First
Jack.
Light page. I don't know why I'm having so much difficulty finding stuff.
Uh, the internet
I was
has
gonna
been
say
just
the
ridiculous lately.
comment there, daughter who can't drink one drink she's messed up, I think is a chemical imbalance with alcohol. I don't think so. Like it's
Kidney.
normal to not have tolerance to it. You know what I mean? Like people
Right.
think
It's
that this is
toxin. Yeah.
normal
Mm-hmm.
to be able to have 3 drinks and walk a straight line. That's not normal. That's built
Mm-hmm.
tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm a lightweight because I don't typically drink anymore. Like not even a glass of wine. If I have some, it's like this much. So yeah, I'm a complete lightweight and I'm down to where I need so little on my edibles that it's like if I need some, it's this tiny little piece.
Right. And a lot of
That's
people
normal.
wish I had that kind of tolerance, right? Like me being able to do all the dabs and stuff. I've told
It'd be
people
cheaper.
yeah, well, for sure. I've told people before and not jokingly, like don't try to keep up with me while you're watching me because then you'll be sitting there with your phone on and asleep while I'm just talking to nobody. Like I don't want to do that. Um so Jack says I think I'm allergic to alcohol. It really fucks me up. So Jack, like it probably even if you did have some allergy to alcohol, it would be certain types of alcohol and what they're made of is what the allergy would come from, like some grains or hops or I don't know some kind of a part of the alcohol that's used. Hey Brenda, Kristen, yeah, we gonna die. Them kids, y'all want to make it to Disneyland? You better shut up. Or Wally World. um,
There's gotta be a share button here somewhere. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
There it
they're
is.
hiding it from you. It's okay. It's
They
all good.
really are. I think I
So
found it. It's
so
Tech Hell Day.
it is. It's been a week for sure. And one of the things that really irks me, and I don't want to get into the details of this, but I'm in the Rumble Creator Program, and they pay me monthly for it, but they don't update the bank, the what it says is in my what do they call it, bank or something on Rumble. They don't update that, and so it looks like I'm getting double next month until they finally fix it on the 13th of the month, and they make it look right. Okay, wow, thought I was getting a
Yeah.
raise. Thanks, Rumble.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
crazy. I got a it wasn't a lot, but I finally got a creator revenue payout on X. I haven't been paid since July last year, but presumably my impressions are too low. I have no idea why it happened. It wasn't even enough for a tank of gas, but I mean, by California standards, that's
right. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what it was. Maybe just like some other metric that they looked at with you that you passed.
well, they
Um,
changed they changed like it the impressions are coming from only what people counter on the For You, the main feed. And that presumably would make it more difficult for a lot of us. So I don't know. Maybe there's something that got more, enough more. I just don't see it. I don't even
well,
have half a
congrats.
million, and you're supposed to have 5 million now.
It
When
went
I
to
started, it
your.
was only three.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. The amount. Um, they actually sent it to your bank account, right?
Yeah,
Well, congrats.
I know, right?
Good for you. Huh. I'm a lightweight with alcohol. Yeah, I think most people that edibles don't affect you, Brenda. It's funny with that. There are people that edibles literally do not affect them no matter how many they eat. But then there's people like me, which I say they don't do much, which they don't. But part of that is the tolerance I have from smoking other things,
Yeah,
and that actually, if I didn't smoke at all, would probably be a lot like less of a tolerance. But I still do have this. How do I describe it? There's a certain chemical that some people just don't make. I do have a higher tolerance than most people for edibles, even if I wasn't using at all. But I don't think I
yeah.
know for a fact that they do work on me if I use enough. It's
And
just
mine is apparently also partly low because of my medical profile. I found out that
ah.
the reason I have trouble with anesthesia, and anesthetics is the hypermobility. So I have to let them know the next time I have serious dental work done that that's an issue because they actually need to use a different type of anesthetic for
Is
it
that
to be very
because of the
effective.
flow? Is that because of the circulation? I mean,
I'm not really sure. I don't
mm,
completely understand it. It's part of the genetic coding, though. And with
mm.
hypermobility, it's pretty common to have the MTHFR gene mutation that I have, and also MCAS, which is mast cell activation syndrome. And all of that is in the picture. So it's weird because if something is sedating, it hits me very hard, but it'll also burn out of my system fast.
Mm.
It's really strange.
Like it moves in and out fast. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why like people say with alcohol, since we've been talking about it, drink water if but what that does is actually makes you more intoxicated because it's
yeah,
pushing it into your system faster.
yeah.
But then it also would help like over like long term flush it out. It's just that you immediate like in the immediate
Good
you actually get
electrolyte,
right
protein,
something to
fats.
soak it up instead versus something to flush it in faster. Yeah.
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 For
So
whatever reason, though, it's very hard to numb me up. Like, for one thing, they said one dentist said the nerve is a little bit deeper. It's not what it
hmm,
should be. And so she was actually able to get it. But yeah, once it does numb me up, it's a little bit terrifying. So like they typically have to give me control of the suction device because I
hmm,
feel like I'm gonna aspirate my own
right.
because I can't swallow at that point.
Ooh.
It's really very scary. So yeah, I don't dig dental work.
Have you seen? We have sort of Hollywoodized it, but there are people. I don't know what the percentage of population is, very small, that have high pain tolerances, which isn't necessarily a superpower when you think of the downsides of it with things like that, not knowing when they hurt themselves, or
Yeah.
all sorts of, like, there was a movie about it where the guy, like, he ended up saving the girl, but he had this whole problem where he avoided all danger because he didn't couldn't feel pain, and so he didn't know that he stabbed himself, or
It was a
didn't know,
house
like,
episode.
well, there was a movie too just recently, probably a couple years ago now, but it was good. It
Mhm.
was funny. It was funny because at first, he was like this kind of wimpy guy, but he eventually kind of figures out that he can just keep fighting, even though there's a nail in his arm and a knife in his leg, and he just keeps going. But yeah, not good. And I wouldn't say that'd be a good thing for anyone to do, even in that situation. If you're not feeling the
Yeah,
pain,
not
you're gonna
beneficial.
yeah, you're gonna make things worse. And pain is good for us. So back to stigma, though. I didn't hear everything as I was trying to reboot, but, like, what did anybody disagree? Did anyone have any, like, did anyone come in and talk crap about the topic, or to come in and try to troll it or anything? I wonder, because
What, you mean
there's people
last
that,
night?
yeah, because specifically cannabis, there are people that like to
No.
talk
It
smack.
just it's just people who just I f they avoided showing up that I feel like could have benefited, from
Oh,
it. I think it's a
oh yeah,
shame.
yeah. I think I know what you mean.
Like, can you not hear a dissenting opinion without losing your mind, you know? It's that old problem in social media. Like, is it gonna harm you to listen to someone talk about something from a different perspective? To me, that is education, maturity, you know? If you're For example, let's go the route of talking about religions. If your faith cannot stand up to questions from someone else or yourself, if you cannot ask questions and examine yourself and your own belief, it's not that strong in the first place.
Right. If you can't hold up to scrutiny, if you have no retort to people's criticisms of it, which are usually pretty common and widely known, you should already have some of those things, like, lined up with whatever it is, like, whatever belief that you might have, whether it be, political, physical, religious, cannabis, whatever. You should have some, like, things sort of in the pocket of, like, the retort to the other side, because you should know what the criticisms are of things that you believe strongly of. If you
Yeah.
believe if you believe in, like, Buddhism so hardcore that you are, going to move to across the world, and be, you should know what the people that criticize it say about it. And that's just a random example, but you know what I'm saying. Like, whether it is cannabis, if you're just going to be this Mister I'm everything cannabis, and let me show you, uh, every time I put clothes on, it's all cannabis and everything. You should know some kind of you should know some of the negative things people say about it. You should know some of the downsides, because everything has downsides, right? Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, I'll say the movie, Jack says, Unbreakable. Unbreakable was kind of like that. I don't think it was that he couldn't feel pain.
That's a
He
different
was,
one.
yeah, it was different. He couldn't get hurt, which was different.
Yeah.
Which is like that's different, because when you can't feel pain, you can still have a knife go into your arm. You just don't feel it enough to not move around too much, because then it can make it worse. If that, just as an example,
If I
like if you
remember
had,
right, he could feel it. He just couldn't die.
yeah, he was just like unbreakable. The movie was Novocaine, and this
Okay.
kind of nerdy guy, they called him Novocaine in school. They called him that as a joke, as a like, making fun of him because he couldn't feel pain. But he ends up, becoming kind of a little bit of a badass throughout the movie. He's got,
Huh.
like I said, at one point he's got like a knife in both legs, and, like, he's just, yeah, well, sorry, bud, he's just looking at the guy. Sorry, you're about to. There's a gun that falls into a fryer, like a basket, like a boiling fryer basket, and he just reaches in and grabs it to use it. His hand is just covered in burns, but it doesn't feel it. He's just keeps going. I'm like, you saw that,
Kentucky
Brenda?
Fried
Yeah.
Fist, you.
Yeah, like it's fun to think about, and maybe you would do that in that scenario if you had that.
No, it'd be terrible because I mean, you'd take
You'd make things
damage
worse. Yeah, yeah.
and
You would just be, like, destroying yourself all the time. That's why
yeah.
he.
Well,
That's
that was the point of, like, when they had the house episode of this girl, she was getting hurt, but she didn't feel it. But she was pretending that she could feel it so people wouldn't think she was weird. So he demonstrated that she could feel it,
this is
or that she
the
couldn't feel it. you know.
For Jack in the comments, he said, haven't seen it with Ben Affleck. No, that's with this guy here. If you go check it out, Novocaine, Jack Quaid.
Hey, on YouTube, they don't have a repost option like you do on Rumble, I guess.
I guess not. Yeah, I don't know what you
Weird.
can do on YouTube, honestly. I do. I've been going live on my phone on YouTube here and there, and I get a whole different crowd of people, and it's
I should
interesting.
do
My
it.
my cousin Wilson comes over there once in a while. You guys haven't. You guys don't know about Wilson. Shout out in the chat if you know Wilson's hashtag. Anybody? There's a few of you in here. There's like a small handful of people that have met Wilson in the chat. So I want to say a triumphant moment here, Tala. I feel very accomplished this week because I wrote down last week where exactly we stopped at. So I know exactly where we could get started if we need to. I mean, we can keep going on stigma because stigma is something that I think needs to be talked about. And you were
Yeah.
specifically talking about cannabis stigma, but I think there's a lot of stigma behind things. Like for instance, when I was in Iraq, I met and talked to many Iraqis, and there were some that were Iraqi soldiers that it was a really weird scenario where they were given weapons, but they were only given like 5 bullets or something like that, or like very few bullets, um, just because we didn't fully trust them, you know. Um, and there you wouldn't have been blamed if you were somebody that was like, I'm not talking to them, I'm not coming close to those people, this or that. And I wouldn't see it as a racial thing. It would have been more like, hey, we're at war with these people. They have insurgencies. They have people that are sneaking, like that are working both sides and everything like that. There was a lot to be scared of. But I also thought, hey, nothing's going to change if we're not uh, at least appearing to be nice to each other. You can always start off with a smile if you don't know somebody. You don't need to know, you
Yeah.
don't need to assume like they're going to try. You can smile at them even if you think they might be coming at you. I try to smile to people in public. I walk on the dogs and try to smile at my neighbors as they're driving by. I might not even be able to see them in their vehicle because of the sun or whatever, and I just smile at the driver's seat, and like to me, it's just about breaking down those walls, like the people being like guard up all the time. It's much easier to just in okay. I hate this, but my brain always thinks of the opposite. You can also get fooled by people just pretending to be nice to you too. So I'm not saying like
Yeah.
just go and like buy that
Especially
car
in a
because the
war
guy
zone.
smiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but my point is like at least making that attempt can soften up the stigma of whatever the situation. And in that situation specifically, I remember, and this is a little humiliating to me, but there was a guy, they had their guy that they wanted to arm wrestle with our guy, and our people picked me. I don't know why. I could say it's because I'm a badass, but we'll just say I don't know why. But I'm also left-handed, right? And those folks over there, they were not going to arm wrestle left-handed. Was not going
I
to
don't think I
happen.
realized you were. Wow.
I am left-handed. I still am
My
even.
dad
Just
is.
kidding. um, but yeah, so they had me arm wrestle this guy. Well, I lost because we arm wrestled with the right hand, which I'm
Right.
a little weaker in. And I was all like, well, let's go to the left hand, And they're like, no, no, no. Like, because to them, the left hand is the unclean hand. Like, that's what they wipe their butt with and stuff. Like, the left hand is
That's
not to be
right.
used for anything like that.
They don't eat with the
Um,
same hand. Yeah.
right. And so, like, I totally would have beat him, but didn't give me the chance. But anyway, it was a fun little kind of activity that we got to do with each other while we were all kind of standing around waiting for something else to happen, kind of thing. We didn't have anything else going on. We happened to be in the area with these guys, the Iraqi police they called them at the time. I don't know what it even is going on now, but it was just a nice little moment. It was like, hey, let's forget the stigma for a minute. And I don't know if stigma is the
Right.
right word in there, but it kind of is. Like we stigmatize each other, the unknown, right? The unknown. You
That's
kind
a
of,
bias. And you know what? That's what
yeah.
stigma like
It's
okay, so
six. What's up?
stigma is technically um there's a taboo attached to a thing, you know, but it comes from a bias. Absolutely. And I guess that I just like let's see, can I put myself in the frame of mind I was in before I needed to use cannabis? Um, the way I was raised, you just don't do that, and so my my perspective then, because I was not educated on everything, was, well, if you need that, it should be for something serious like cancer and you're going through chemo and they have pills for that. But see, what I didn't know was, so far as I understand it, the pills that they use for that are actually at least partially synthetic, if not
Mm,
completely. I don't really know, but it's different because it's been refined, it's been processed, and you know how I feel about that,
right.
right? But also, I didn't know back then. There's THC, there's CBD, there's CBG.
So many
It's
things.
not just one thing.
Yeah.
I
THCP
didn't know
now.
all that.
I don't know what that is. THCP. It's a new thing.
Right, I didn't know any of this, and I'm still learning. I just know I wanted off the opioids. My mentor had talked me into that idea. Um, God bless him for that. And I wanted a better solution, and I already knew, okay, we got it legalized here, so it's not really, like, difficult. Actually, when I first started using it, we weren't quite there yet.
Right.
Um, but we had a friend who worked at a dispensary. The dispensaries were only available for people with the medical card. We managed to get some butter and, so, but again, it was tiny amount, and that actually was indica, which flattens me. So I was having to learn how to use it correctly for my very sensitive system.
Yeah.
But then by the time I got off of I wanted off the opioids, then we had access to just the edibles, and it was so much easier, you know? And I was able to eliminate what was being masked. I've
Hmm.
talked about this whole thing of this was the conversation with my mentor. This is what you're doing to your body. That's what you're doing. You're going, mm-mm, no messages. So the first time that I hiked and summited Mount Baden-Powell unmedicated was a really big deal. That was a few years ago. It was slow, it was difficult, but it made me aware. So I was paying attention to those signals. Something hurts, stop. What's not aligned? What needs to be stretched? And so it gave me the right signals to figure out what's not in alignment. Physical therapy became more effective, because you can injure yourself and not know it if you're just shutting down the signals all the time. So all I need is to take the edge off the pain that's intolerable. That's all I needed. And because of that, then I stopped getting false signals. I stopped shutting off the important signals. And here I am, barely needing any kind of pain management. That's
Turns
the
out
best
everything's
result
connected,
possible.
right? Turns out we're all
Yeah.
connected. All of it's connected, and
I'm
even
the best
even
case scenario for my conditions. This is not common. But why isn't it not common? It's not common because everybody's got a stigma about it. And they're
mm,
like, no, no, I'm going to the doctor for pills.
right.
Well, maybe you shouldn't.
You think you're being irresponsible if you don't go down that pharma hole. Like
Yeah.
my mom, who's in the chat. She they were trying to like she's I don't want to say stubborn. She's strong-willed. She's strong-willed. She and that doctor was like, well, and the doctor kept pushing back in this like really sort of like almost like dry humor kind of way, but she wasn't trying to be funny. It was kind of weird. It's hard to describe the way she was like, well, but yes, we have to be aware that with those supplements and those natural remedies, like you don't know what the
It's
dosage and
not
it's like,
regulated.
yeah, it's not regulated. And it's like, well, we can't even see the list of ingredients and I should have pressed her more about this, but she's like, oh yeah, you can. It's all public. You can go out and look at the list of ingredients of any medication. And I'm
Mm,
like, okay, but am I gonna know? Am I gonna then have to go and research every crazy medical term that's on there, and then so researching plants that happen to be like everything we eat, food
yeah.
is medicine, happen to be
Look, there
medicine.
is variability, but there is with medications too.
Yeah,
Like, we've all had this experience. One time, let's just go with Tylenol. Let's go with the mild stuff. One time the Tylenol works, another time the Tylenol doesn't work. Why is that? It's not because of tolerance, it's just randomly you don't know. Because there's all these other factors. What did you eat today? How much did you eat? Are you hydrated? Did you get your electrolytes? Did you take your other meds? Did you take your vitamins? Are you tired today? Okay, so all those variables, those are in there even with a highly regulated and what's the word? Where they make sure that the dose is exactly the same, you know,
Uniform, I guess,
standardized.
standardized. Okay.
Standardized. Even if it's standardized, that pill is always going to affect you a little bit differently. They can't control those other factors. So for them to blow smoke up your butt about, oh, well, this is standardized, it's fine, that's not even true. And it could be like how, like with opioids, when was the last time you took some? Well, for me, it's been 3 years. If I took one now, it'd probably flatten me for 2 days.
Hmm. Do you
I
think that
wouldn't
they
do that.
have in China where opioids are like opium dens? I wonder if they have a similar outlook to opium in China that we do with cannabis here, because you can
Hmm.
smoke it. It's recreational too, which I don't think we'd think of that as much over here because we don't have opium dens. I bet
Yeah.
you people
Thank
do
goodness.
smoke opium in the US. I don't know where. I've never heard of it. And I'm
Los
not,
Angeles on the street.
maybe, I mean, like there's more fentanyl, I guess, these days, but
Fentanyl,
I
yeah.
think I just imagine these opium dens like everyone's sitting around smoking bowls. Like, is it
From what
similar
I
to a bunch of
understand,
stoners? I don't know. That's kind of weird.
I don't live there, obviously, it's not my culture, but from what I understand, it's accepted, but not like there's an understanding that if you're abusing it, there's a problem. Like, is it something that you do once in a while, or is this something that you do all the time? It's just like going to a bar. For us, it's like, did you go out one weekend and, just a few times a year, or are you going every weekend and then having to take a cab home, or God forbid, driving home and getting a ticket, you know?
Yeah.
Now, whether there is such a thing as responsible use of smoked opium or not, I don't really know.
I don't know either. It
I
seems
wouldn't go
like
there.
because we have opioid epidemic, we have people that misuse
Yeah.
opioids here, but those are processed opioids that might have other things in them that we
I've
haven't
been
put in there.
physically dependent on it in the past, so I know how that feels. It's
Hmm.
not fun. I had to detox my body from it a few times. I know how that feels. It's not fun. Your body throws false pain signals that are like non-existent problems. The craving is real. It's not
I
fun.
think this is a mistype from what do you call it? Type to talk or talk to type, talk to text is what I
Text,
meant to say.
talk to text.
Jack says I have a gun. Agree, Diane. That's McClure. That's Diane's. Like that doesn't. I feel like he was saying I have to agree, or I'm going to agree, or I don't know. But that seems like there was something maybe mistranslated in the.
I beg your pardon.
She said, "I wish I had opium to smoke," and he says, "I have a gun. Agree." And it's like, I don't think that's
We
what's
need a
supposed to happen
screenshot
there.
of that.
It's not even visible
Well
on the
then.
screen right now. Let's see if we do this. Maybe we could make the comments more visible. Let's see.
But yes, it's a bias that I feel like needs to be dialed down, and it's a different thing to have a personal standard and say this is not something that I want in my life. That's different from having a bias. A bias says that's wrong, nobody should touch that. You're going to do what you want to do, but I don't like that and nobody should do that. That's a bias. Okay? It it's 2026. Like I said, we all need to calm down. How many states is it legal in now in some way, shape, or form? I believe it's more than half if you count all the medical use. Okay. So, what really needs to happen is, I said it before when we first started broadcasting together, the federal mandate is what needs to go away. That needs to go away.
Hmm.
The federal is stupid.
I think that
It should be
happens,
up to
or
the states.
that's the same with a lot of things. And I pose the question: is stigma bad. And I think there are good things about it, which could be maybe said other ways, like the just knowing the downsides of stuff, you know.
Stigma is bad. Standards are fine.
So, but
Stigma
could
is a
you?
negative.
You're right, but knowing what the stigma is about something can, like I said a little bit earlier, similarly let you combat the combat that maybe in some way, like knowing the stigma,
Stigma
like it,
implies that there should be shame for something that is not necessarily shameful. That's the thing. That's the problem. So, I mean, I think we can all agree that, let me say this carefully, um, adult material created with children, bad.
right.
There's nothing about a stigma there. That's just bad. You know what I'm saying? That's a standard, that's a moral that that's a no-no. That's not about stigma. Stigma is something that is attached to something where there is a variable. For you and me, medical use, whatever, fine. For somebody else, it's a choice not to, and they can disagree with it. That's okay, but they shouldn't be throwing shade on someone else who needs to use it, you know?
Let me read you this definition here because it's kind of crazy. There's three different definitions. The first one most closely matches what we're talking about: an association of disgrace or public disapproval with something, such as an action or condition. Synonyms are is a stain. Oh, we'd like to
Somebody's
get a.
calling me that I want
We've
nothing
been
to do
trying to
with.
reach you about your car insurance. We need to talk to you,
Darn
Tala.
second line.
Uh,
I'm gonna turn that off.
that's okay. So this kind of contradicts a little bit. Not to be that
Mm.
guy, but this is saying like any action or condition. So like if I see someone fent folding, that's a condition, and I can have so I can associate disgrace or public disapproval with that. So I think stigma's not always bad. It's kind of like this discrimination. Discrimination's not always bad. You discriminate as to what you put
Yeah,
on every day.
it's it's technical versus social use on
Touche,
a
touche.
terminology.
What's
You know, that's always
the
there.
what do you call
Yeah.
that? The colloquial use.
Colloquial, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
listen to the other two. A visible indicator of disease. So you got like a big
Oh,
spot
like,
on you, like, hey, you got a stigma. Yeah,
stigmata,
or
yeah.
stigmata. Uh, so then the third one is a small bodily mark, especially a birthmark or scar that is congenital, geez, or
Congenital, yeah, I forgot about that one.
indicative or condition or disease of a condition or disease. Isn't that the same thing? Isn't the second one and the third one the same thing? Okay,
A
those are
mark.
exactly the same. Basically, just a
Well, if you
longer
think about
definition.
it, let's go to the root, mark, blemish, shame, you see? Yeah,
I see.
there is an association there.
So shame isn't always bad, though. I think
Well,
shame
yeah,
just kind of reflects what the cultural norms are of the day.
yeah.
That's what you get shamed
Like
on.
my example, children should not be in adult activities.
Right. And some cultures think
Yeah,
differently and they wouldn't have shame for that. So it's
unfortunately.
right. And so
Well,
so
they get into that gets into what's your cultural definition of a child, right?
later,
That's the
Colin,
problematic part.
um yes, and I agree, like we in at least from my perspective in the West try to think those things out logically, whether or not we can execute them in the way that would be best beneficial to everybody. But having these discussions where it's a mental game of how do we protect life the best, because believe it or not, guys, we are not just individuals, we are a species, and we, maybe not all of us, but in general the species wants to continue. The human race wants to continue on. We don't all want to die out. A whole bunch of people think that there are too many people and that we should die out, and there's people that really have those beliefs. But in general, the species,
Scary that some people are like
right?
that, like,
Yeah, isn't that, it's such
calling
a weird,
humans
yeah, no
parasites.
self-preservation. They don't want any sort of legacy. Don't want any kind of like anything they don't want people at all. They want people to be gone. It's
Yeah.
very strange, but for in general, people want to continue on, and
I always
so
wondered, like, do you not realize that includes yourself when you say
right,
that? Some people actually are okay with that. I'm like,
yes,
whoa.
yeah, that's a little bit
There's a
morbid.
word
That's
for
a little
that.
rough. That's like self cannibalism. I don't know. But we're at the one
Self-destructive.
hour, right? Self destructive for sure. Let me
I
go
won't
see
say
if
the word.
anybody. Oh, looks like Rose jumped in on the number wheel. We got she's gonna be number 17. We're at the 1 hour mark, so guys, if you could hit the like button, smash it out, share it out with some friends. We're gonna spin for the third spin this week for subscribers. Go check out Tala on X. That's where she's really kicking a lot of ass, and she's got subscriber spaces she's doing and some content and everything. So go check it
Went to one
out.
last night. It was good. Not
They
a lot
might
of
be.
people showed up, but
Hey, I happen to see it. My son was, he doesn't like to hang out with me very much. He wants to go off in his room, and I get that. I did that, when I was young. But I also do spend a lot of time with him. We go places and do things, so it kind of makes up for it. But I was like sitting on my couch, and I happened to see that notification. Thought, hey, I can stop in for a minute. All right, here we go.
it was good
Spin.
to have your input in the conversation. And Nick was there for a little bit over an hour. Um, he's
Sorry.
very open about using psilocybin for spiritual and philosophical development for himself. He's been very open about that. Um, so I wanted to make sure that he was there for it. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm not ever trying to convince people that they should change their standards, that they should do something that's against their personal morals or any of that. I'm just trying to get people to the point where they can consider that maybe it's not necessary to throw shade on
Right.
other people for their choice. Like, it doesn't affect you, you know?
Hmm.
Some people act like we're decaying the morals of society, and it's like, no, I just would like to not scream when my back is out.
Yeah. I think it's like that reactionary culture that we have where think about politics where a lot of times, especially big accounts, when they post something, they're posting it knowing all these angry people are going to respond. Oh, there goes my
Yeah,
camera again. And
rage
so
bait.
yeah, rage baiting, and the thing about that is like you watch it as somebody who might be subjective and can see it happening, and you kind of feel sorry for all the people that are falling for it and all. Gotta
I mean,
I gotta tell you my
sometimes with these
opinion.
accounts that are engagement farming, sometimes I will respond even though I know that's what they're doing. I'm like, whatever, I'll help your payday.
You
Maybe
also
he'll
know other people are
pay
going to
me
see
back.
it, so maybe there's that aspect. But you can tell that by the way someone comments, the way that you're responding. Instead of this like the angry old man on the lawn
I'm very open
sound.
about it too, though. People will say, "What a stupid question," and I'll drop down to their comment and say, they're like, "Why are you asking this?" And I'll just tell them, "They're engagement farming. You didn't know?
Right.
We're all
Or
contributing to what they're going to get paid. I mean, you got to be aware of that at this point."
speaking of that, if you all could do me a favor when you get a time, go over to the Indoor Farmer profile on Rumble and click the Shorts tab, and go check out my shorts because they actually give me a little bonus for the engagement on my shorts. So thank you guys for that. Okay, let's see who number 8 was because that's our winner. Diane. Hey, Diane is number 8. She's in the Rumble
Also,
chat.
I do have a YouTube for those who are actually on YouTube. I don't have new content recently, but that's going to be my next focus to make sure I'm looping that in. So that's another place that you can
Let's pull it up.
subscribe.
It was. I know I subscribed. I think already. Was it First Light Warrior?
Should be able to find me under Tall No Excuses. I have a First Light Warrior, but I barely use it.
I'm sorry.
Paula
One more
Smith.
time. I was reading something. You say it again. Was it the Tala?
It's going to be Tala. Let me see if I can grab the link for you.
Mm,
Because I do have, like on all the platforms, I grab First Light Warrior so that I have that business name,
ha.
but I barely post on that one.
There it is. And I'm
That's the
subscribed.
right one. That's the right one, yeah.
So if you happen to use the YouTube, go check it out.
And what's unique about that is there it's really easy to go back to the beginning. So I when I first dusted it off, I thought about deleting my old content and I stopped myself and I'm so glad I did because my thinking was fresh start. But now I realize going back and watching my own videos, which that's what stopped me was I wanted to watch it before I got rid of it. And I thought, wait a minute, this is my documentation. And I don't have that really accessible anywhere else. Like you could go if you could search for specifics on Facebook, but that's impossible unless you hit that history date in your memories.
Hmm.
You can't find your old stuff. It's too far back. They don't have a
Yeah,
date search. But
they
in
should.
YouTube, it's easy to do because you're just videos. It's not everything. So you can go back to the beginning and see when I was at my sickest. While I was trying to claw my way out of that, I would go for a hike and I'd be in bed for 3 days. You can
Wow.
go see, like, what condition was I in when I started this journey. So, I'm so glad I left it there, and with that in mind, it's like I've started to kinda start to put new stuff up so that people can see the
Hmm.
changes. Yeah,
I was just gonna say you could maybe cut like make a super cut of some of the old ones and then
that's in the
progressively into the
plans.
new ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. Yeah.
Probably for part of for my film, which is gonna be really interesting because the video quality is so terrible from back then.
Poor
Lots of
Diane.
changes.
Diane was wishing for opium, but instead she ate a whole lemon while hanging out with us.
That's good.
Yeah, lemon's good for you, although, enamel and such. My son loves lemonade. That's almost
Always
all he
brush,
drinks.
rinse, yeah. But
Yeah.
it helps prevent kidney stones, so
Mm. Kidneys, people were talking about getting so messed up on alcohol so easily, and that's because your kidneys, I think, or is it liver? Maybe I'm wrong. One of the two.
liver mostly, kidneys can be
Okay.
affected, lots of stuff, but your
So I
liver
had a friend that
primarily.
had one kidney and just went from zero to wasted in like one drink because it only had
Can't
half of
clear
the
it as
filtering.
easily.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mhm.
It's just kind of something you
And
need to
that's
think about.
dangerous.
Yeah. Our
If you
body
got one kidney,
has,
you don't have a backup.
right. Our body doesn't have an endo alcohol system. It has an endocannabinoid system already built in. We also have natural
Fair
DMT.
point.
We also have natural DMT. So I don't know if the DMT is necessarily a bad thing. It's just about usage and being responsible, like you were saying earlier on. Most of these things, if it changes your, I don't want to say impairs your judgment, but impairs your or changes your norm, I
Responses, for one
guess.
thing.
Yeah. A lot of these
Yeah,
substances might not be physically harmful, but it's just about like, you know, shouldn't be driving or going out, to some,
yeah.
party with a bunch of people, things like that. Where you and I remember as a younger man, I wouldn't say kid, I didn't drink until I was 18 or 19. Um, where people would want to just whatever it was, especially younger people, they don't care what it is, they just want to get effed up and they just give
Yeah.
me whatever. And then so then they combine things together. And then with alcohol, people would be like, water, no, and it's like like as you get
We
older,
all
you get
had our
smarter.
stupid moments when we were
Yeah.
younger, but to varying degrees.
Well, that's where
Like
stigma comes from.
I was
It's
never inclined to drink and drive.
right.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you say it's like things that have a range? So even with cannabis, you have people that are, how do I put this, like with classiness, there's the upper class and the lower class. With alcohol, you have the people like a wino drinking, cologne in the alley, but you also have the big dinner party where everyone's sipping champagne, and you know what I mean. So there's that
Yeah.
range, right? And then
Robo
but the
tripping and fentanyl and
right, like you have a range. So people, I think the stigma comes from that bottom end of the nastiest, worst thing that can happen from whatever it
yeah.
is, and you have this just festering, like,
Well,
oh,
there's desperation that happens with severe addiction, obviously, because that's what we're talking about, like any source of alcohol, dear God,
mhm,
um, or any source of anything. Like the person who's like, well, I can't get my preferred drug, so I'll just try whatever that person has. That's desperation and it's dangerous. And that's how we end up with people addicted to fentanyl on the street and, somebody having to run up with Narcan, okay, because we're about to lose them.
like we got to
And
make Narcan more available is like part of some people's like spiels now. It's like, what?
I probably
Can
shouldn't
we
express
just?
my opinion of that, but
Uh, I
you
mean,
know,
I'm not saying it shouldn't be available, but I feel like we should try to like address maybe further down
well,
the line. You know what I mean?
yeah. So, like, why? I'll go there. Why are there's somebody who does videos? He's walking around with Narcan in hand to find people who just overdosed. Got to hit them with two or three, and then says, "Here, you want to take some more for later, so
Interesting.
you can overdose and then save yourself again." Like this scenario is not ideal. That's not
Yeah.
helping anybody. That's just giving them permission to keep doing it. I am not in favor of that. Well, but you saved their life for what?
Right. Like,
Get them in a
where's the
program
quality?
or
Yeah.
forget it.
Like, would
That's
you save someone's life if they were like the quality of life was at? Everyone has a line. Like, if their quality of life
yeah,
was below that line, you wouldn't just keep saving them. Like, if it was like putting them in more pain than like there's a lot of situations for that. But my point
yeah,
is like you have to weigh. Uh, is there a quality of life by me giving them something that allows them to go overdose again? I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know.
I have real issues with that. Yeah, but so like the other side of it, the elite thing of we see it portrayed in movies and on TV. The rich people who they're they're drinking probably just as much, but they're just doing it in a classier manner with expensive bottles of stuff. And but if
Mhm.
you took it away from them, they'd have the same DTs as anybody else in the alley.
They have money to pay for the driver or somebody that will like an assistant to make sure they get home safely and everything like that.
Right. It's just as much an addiction. It's still a problem. So, I mean, number one is responsibility, you know? Be responsible, be accountable, be safe, whatever the substance is. Be intelligent about it. Like if you know you're damaging yourself, don't do that, you know? As I've mentioned, there was a time in the past when, yeah, I was drinking too much too often. I
Mm,
don't have that, whatever it is, if there's a genetic component. I'm still not completely convinced, but if that's the case, I don't have that because I can take it or leave it. I just made a decision that, this does not suit my lifestyle. I need to stop because it's a pro-inflammatory, so let's just not
yeah.
do that. And I just
I never
didn't.
felt good after drinking. Like people say, well, I don't get a hangover because I don't stop drinking, and that's a funny like little chuckle, ha ha. Oh, okay, but I don't. Even aside from that, I just never felt good whether it was a hangover or not. You just
Yeah,
feel bad, gross the next day. And something
right.
that you were saying, as long as you're not harming yourself. Well, for me, I do struggle with that because with the smoking
Yeah,
versus the edibles and the lungs and stuff. But I found
yeah,
recently, I just a lot of times you think, oh man, I can't do that because it causes these things to me. Well, some of it, at least some of it, for a lot of us, I know I can't be too specific on this, but a lot of people, and I'm finding this out as I'm getting back into shape and exercising more, a big part of it is that you're just not doing enough exercise to combat some of the things that we do to ourselves.
yeah.
And I'm not
That's
saying
true
that
too.
and that kind of sounds like giving ourselves a justification to do some harm,
Permission, yeah.
but at the same time, whether or not you're harming yourself or not, cutting out exercise in the second half of your life causes all sorts of detrimental issues. Like
Well, yeah, I mean, like, isn't the point of using it to alleviate pain so that you can be active,
right,
right?
yeah,
So, like,
like you want to be
if you're
active, but then you don't.
only
Like, but you
yeah,
don't.
if you're only using it like, if you're toking up and sitting on the couch and doing nothing, you've now defeated the purpose.
Hmm.
That's the problem.
I was talking to
So,
Mikey about it being a performance enhancing drug because a lot of athletes are using it because
yeah,
if before you go and work out, there's all sorts of benefits. I can't list them all, but I know one of them is
yeah.
like you can kind of zone in and focus, and you don't feel as much of the pain of the workout, and you can just kind
Like
of
the
push a little
discussion
harder.
last night too. If someone has ADHD very severe,
Hmm.
it can help with that.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I have my diagnosis specifically was adult ADD. That's exactly how it was worded. They keep changing the way that diagnoses are, and that people want to say it's all under the same umbrella. I disagree. Just like they shouldn't have removed Asperger's and said everything is under the umbrella of ASD, autistic spectrum disorder. I didn't like that
Right.
either.
Let's
But
just put them all in the same
yeah,
bucket.
it's like that doesn't work for me. It's like saying, you have lupus, but we're only going to call it autoimmune disease. That's stupid.
Hmm. Like simplifying it, it's kind of like saying white people. You
It's
know,
oversimplifying, yeah.
yeah, it's so simple. And
Exactly.
then even if you say not to be racial, but like that's such a huge example where it's like white people or brown people. It's like, okay, can we go a little deeper than that? Like we used
Because
to be
then
able to,
if you're Spanish, you're technically Caucasian,
right?
see?
There's
But we
so many
know there's a
technicals.
difference.
Or
Yeah.
like Italian. I think Tony Hinchcliffe was telling a story about how he was talking to these black guys, and they were like anti, or no, maybe it wasn't Tony, it was somebody else, but he was like, you know, they were all anti-white, and he was explaining. He thought they were talking about him, and they're like, no, no, you're Italian, man. You don't have to worry about it, or whatever. Like what? Like we just like there's no rhyme or reason to all that. It just makes no sense.
But yeah, I mean,
Oversimplification was
it's
the point. Yeah.
I think overall, like, everybody here is probably pretty much on the same page, but see, I float between communities. I got, I hang out with some people in the, let's say, we used to say Twitter, whatever, now it's X, so X Christians. That sounds funny because it sounds like you're saying EX, but X, the platform. So let's say Twitter Christians, the Twitter Jews. I got friends there. We got uh, Twitter um, people that have catastrophic illness, injuries, and stuff. There's all these different little communities.
Right.
I can walk into those different places because
Cheers,
I
420.
don't act like I'm biased. I'm respectful for the environment, you know?
Cheers,
And
everybody. Sorry.
I think
Go ahead.
that's really what I'm asking is for people to just be respectful of where they're at, for who they're interacting with. That's not hard,
That's
you know?
exactly, yeah. Like you can mold to your surroundings a little bit. I feel like some people are so headstrong that they work this um, image into their head where they have to say, I don't care what anyone thinks. Like, okay, great. Like you can say I don't care what other people think of you, and that's great. But there's still it's kind of a dance, if you will, when you're dealing with other people in public. We'll say as an example, it's got to be a give and take. Like you both sort of agree that we will uh be in public, we'll both drive on the right side of the road, like there's like these like common courtesies that we sort of agree. But then there's people that outliers where the person that
Yeah.
makes the big scene in the restaurant for no reason. I dated someone like that when I was younger. Like
Oh,
makes a big scene just because they're trying to get something for free or whatever. And
oh
like the people that
no.
just have no semblance of like society. Like it doesn't mean, I don't mean that, and I mean that in like small s, like like the just how it works, what it means to
Yeah.
like interact with one another. You don't have to do everything everyone else says, but you also don't have to just be like whatever, I do what I want, like all the time, like in people's faces. Shouts out to Cartman. But real quick, I do have a couple friends popping in on the Facebook that I see. Brittany, hello, Brittany. Jeremy, hello, Jeremy, and MT. What's up, MT? He says, Peoria Heights mayor. He says the poor dude decided to sleep it off in his vehicle and still got a DUI. Wow.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's rough.
Parked?
Yeah. Well, if you're behind the wheel though, I think that
Wow.
I think they can get you. Yeah. But the mayor though, that's he didn't have no pull, huh? Must
I
have been off
wonder if his car was on the street, like in a parking lot. I bet that wouldn't be an issue.
EPX and the dancing bananas, Andrew.
Still, I'm not
Yeah.
sure I'm not sure I agree with that. If he wasn't driving and didn't drive in that
I guess I'd have
condition.
to know more. Yeah.
Wow.
Where is he at, and like if
People
it's
should be able to get along with everyone. Yeah, McClare, I agree. This is so I go beyond just having the social graces. I can be a diplomat, but that's because I have training not just in the public speaking, but also, cultural and social sensitivity. Not like it's taught today, but 30 years ago. In other words, just don't be a jerk. You know, this has become a real issue with cross pollination of communities on X. There are people who, that looks so good. There are people who,
I had an idea.
as a
Well,
Christian, they feel like if they are interacting with someone who's Jewish, they got to blurt what they think that person should do. I made a lousy evangelist. I'm a good teacher. That's one of the reasons I retired from ministry. I'm a good teacher. I like teaching. But people feel like if you're in that position, you should be evangelizing. I have a problem with that because you got the Jewish community over here saying, don't
right.
proselytize. I would never. Okay. You have your belief. I respect you. I respect you enough to just leave you alone. If you want to know something about someone else's beliefs, then it should be your choice to go to them and ask questions. But I don't feel like anybody should force it on someone else. No different than vegans telling carnivores don't eat meat, carnivores telling people, you can't be part of the keto community because, oh my God, you ate a handful of blueberries. Everybody needs to calm down.
Oh my God, I can't believe you brought that up because I was in a YouTube live stream on my phone. I was talking to these people that are growers and gardeners, and I swiped up, and the next video was this vegan lady, and all on the screen in big words it said, "Why are you not vegan?" And I could see that she was like multi-streaming somehow. It was like a different thing than I do, but anyway, I just started asking a few questions, and they were jumping on me like I was
Whoops.
telling them that they need to eat meat and stuff. But I wasn't saying that.
Vidal.
I was just asking some, the questions that like they, of course, did not like me asking, and it was kind of hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, but
I had someone in my face today on X, maybe your brand of keto isn't as low carb as you think it is. I'm like, mofo, you ain't in my kitchen. I was so
right.
mad. I'm like, what? Excuse me, I work very hard to stay between the 20 and 50 max net carbs, and it's not easy. So, I know what keto is. I don't buy keto products, those protein
Hmm.
bars that are full of sugar. I don't eat that
Yeah,
crap anymore.
just because it says
So,
keto. Yeah.
it was just he was mad because I wasn't being such a stickler, and people need to calm down so that I don't have to get mad about it.
Okay, I'm trying to find this background that we're using. I was just gonna try and throw the logo in the corner that's also empty and like lonely off to the right, but now I might have to do it later because I don't know where it is. Anyway,
Sorry, I'm looking
um,
at the comments. Sorry, but I
it's
have
okay.
Jewish friends. Yeah, me
I don't even
too.
see you right now. I'm looking at on these
No,
files.
no, I'm reading the comments. Yeah.
Um, let's see. Oh, here it is. So I did want to maybe get to one or two stories before we go. We got a little bit
Yeah.
of time left here. So Red Six does say he says yes, he was parked. So that means like parked in a
Wow.
spot somewhere, right? I would think.
Yeah.
I think that's what that means. Ah, here
Crazy.
it is.
But maybe he was parked on the street. Maybe that's why.
Is this the same one? Let's see.
I
Yes,
still
it
don't
is.
think that it should have happened. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that one's a weird one, especially if he was doing the right thing. Although, okay, let me play devil's advocate here and say he had to drive to that location to park it,
But you can park,
right?
walk to a bar, drink, walk to your car. I mean,
Touche. I'd have to know a little
that's
more, I
what's in my
guess.
mind on it.
Mm-hmm.
I was
That's
reading
true.
McClara's comments about that. Yeah, well, the truck driver who's supporting the household right now and is out there driving, he's Jewish too. So, I mean, I get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't seem to understand that like we have a very integrated society, particularly in the United States, and so why are people still trying to make other people like fit some kind of cookie cutter? It's crazy to me. Like, I don't get it. Biases, stigma.
I wonder if it's
Yeah, melting pot.
I wonder if it's people wanting like a subconscious drive to have things around them the way they want them. Like what's that?
Standardized.
Yeah, back to standardize, I guess. Yeah, everybody has an
Sure.
idea of what their community is like and stuff, and when that changes drastically quickly, there are some real problems that come with that, but it also is a hit to the ego, like, oh man, things aren't
Yeah.
as controlled
I
as I
mean,
thought they
genetic
were,
instincts too. If it's
Yeah.
unfamiliar, the alarm system goes off in your head. We're genetically programmed in survival. If it's unfamiliar, it could be dangerous. So, as an intelligent, mature human in our development state, we have to be able to say, okay, I recognize that alarm is instinctual. Shut it off because it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's not going to harm me. Yeah.
uh Jeremy Brasher, what's up, Jeremy? He's one of my local friends that used to be a co-host of my Monday show when
Oh, very cool.
back when it was like just first budding. Anyway, he says that if the keys are in the ignition, it's a DUI. That I guess I could see. That makes sense, but I don't know. I'd have to look more into that specific situation.
I sent the link to my mentor earlier. He said he subscribed to your YouTube channel so you can watch
Oh,
us later.
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know that I've ever talked to this person.
Nope,
Let me
he's
see.
not on X. He was when I met him, but he's not on there, so yeah.
So I have to take back the moment of pride that I had earlier because I don't remember if we did discuss this, but I don't know if we discussed it enough or if we should move on.
What was
Let me pull it up here. Oh, that doesn't seem right.
it?
That doesn't seem right. The like the garden that our grandmothers had, like the way
Oh, like
that
Victor
things were
Gardens.
planted. Yeah, but like the way that things are not planted in the like today we have them all in these special kinds of rows and the way that they used
Companion
to
planting,
grow.
we did
Yeah,
touch on that.
companion planting was the stuff that
Yeah.
we yeah. So we did touch on it, but I don't know if we talked about it. Like it just has like a pot like a here like one thing that I thought was pretty cool about it was that this part right here that says pest predator habitat.
Yeah.
And so you have to have both.
Give
You
him
have
a
to have
space.
yeah, you have to give them a space. You have to give them somewhere. So it's kind of that's why I don't like the whole indoor growing where people over sanitize everything. And look,
Yeah.
that might still that in the long run maybe that is still the way to go. Like like a Dexter's laboratory inside. You know, you got freaking it's everything scientific. Everyone's wearing a white coat. Maybe that's a way to grow stuff inside long term. I don't know that yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to try things differently until I get to that conclusion because I don't want to over sterilize everything.
And I
Anyway,
only have outdoor when I do garden. But yeah, you give them a habitat, you give them attractive things. There's even a logic to planting extras of your crop, like you want to put maybe your tomatoes over here and protect them as best as possible, but put one tomato plant over here because you know the possums are going to eat some of them and leave that one where it's easy for them to get to, that kind of thing.
right, makes sense.
Plant stuff they don't like around, the ones that you want for yourself.
Barrier, like a barrier.
Yeah.
Brittany says, "Oh no, okay." Lila Rose says it was 80 degrees on Monday, which was perfect. Now it's 57 and rainy. She's over in the West Coast
Oh,
too.
it
Um,
was like 97 here. Yeah, it was.
I thought she was saying something else because there's a lot of conversation. I appreciate that. So um, let me see what RFK says here in this one, and we can check out a couple more before we go. RFK Jr. says America is facing an over medicalization crisis. I think we both agree on that. The United States does not
Yeah.
just face a mental health crisis; we face a dependency crisis driven by over medicalization. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, money, 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 money. Like mental, do we not think that mental health crises can be created from over medicalization? Like those things
I
can
think
be hand
so.
in hand. Like those can be, it says 1 in 10 children are on prescriptions. Wow, or prescription
Yeah.
medication for their mental health. 30% of college students report using psychiatric medications in the past year. In nursing homes, more than half of the residents are on prescribed antidepressants. Antidepressants. Uh,
That's wow.
that's not a marginal issue. This is a system level pattern. Too many patients begin treatment without a clear understanding of the risk or how to come out of them. Like the recovery, yeah, that's not that.
Children. I can think of very few circumstances where a child should be prescribed an antidepressant medication. That's terrifying.
Yeah, psychiatric medication at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what that really means. Like antidepressant, anti-anxiety. Like what else? What else is there? ADHD, I
People
guess, would be
treat stuff like
psychological.
Xanax and Zoloft like it's, no big deal.
Hmm.
And maybe 30 years ago, close to it, um, maybe 25, I had a doctor suggest, I actually had a couple of different people that suggest those kind of meds like Zoloft. And I was like, I've done my reading. I'm not okay with that. That's how I ended up taking the 5-HTP instead, because I used to take L-tryptophan, the amino acid, and I've done really well to the point where now I'm like I only need 50 milligrams of 5-HTP at night. It's a very low dose. I'm very stable now. I've gotten through the managing the trauma and things like that. So now we're
Hmm.
down to what little chemical imbalance there is, and a simple supplement fixes it. You
Right. And supplements aren't the same thing as medication. People think of a pill as a pill as a pill, but they also don't call it doing drugs when they're popping their Vicodins and their Xanaxes and things like, oh no, I'm not doing drugs. This is prescribed by my doctor. It's all official, and it
It's
makes
a
me feel
drug.
better. Yeah. Yeah. And so people will say I don't do drugs, but then they drink 10 coffees a day, or they like there's little things. Obviously, there might be
Yeah.
different effects and different outcomes, but people seem to have we are chemical processors. We don't produce we produce some chemicals, but plants are really the chemists of the nature kingdom.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but oh man, I had another
I had
point
someone who
with
thought
that.
they had a gotcha on me yesterday. We were talking about food safety, and he goes, "Did you take the COVID shot?" I'm all, "God no." He had nothing else to add.
My mom,
I
I
was
told.
like,
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't
"No," I
let
was
you.
just like, "And?"
Yeah, sorry. Well, so we talked about it a couple times, but my mom going in there telling the doctor like I don't use inhalers anymore. I don't use the medications anymore. She's on oxygen. That's it. But that's not really medication. It's just kind of it is what it is with her lung capacity. But
Yeah.
the doctor's just like shocked, like she's not doing all these inhalers you're supposed to do and all this stuff. And I personally don't do any of my inhalers unless I really happen to have a bad night. I might use a rescue inhaler. But
Same.
I have a daily or I have a daily inhaler I'm supposed to use, and I have like two allergy pills I'm supposed to take, and I don't do all that. Granted, I don't have the allergy reactions that some people do. Like I don't get hives and stuff. I do blow my nose too many times a day, and
Yeah.
and I have my eyes water and itch, and I have all these symptoms that do suck. But I'm trying to like I don't know. I'm not trying to give my body too many crutches, and also those medications never did anything for me. I never felt like it didn't stop me from blowing my nose. It didn't do anything to me. I'm like, what am I
Little
taking these
things
for?
like this. Allermax made by Country Life, and I've got the BHI allergy formula, which is homeopathic, so it's infinitesimal doses, but this one's just, a few vitamins, and then bromelain, anti-inflammatory, stinging nettle helps with cough, cayenne pepper, all these natural things, including histidine, L-histidine. So if something like this works, why would I want to take something like a decongestant, which I didn't realize was such a powerful med? Again, that's something my mentor got me to stop. And yes, I was dealing with bad postnasal drip after having COVID the second time.
Hmm.
But nevertheless, I had to stop and let my body handle it to get past it. I do have mild asthma, but I haven't used my inhalers in forever. So
Hmm.
the fact that I got off the steroid meds, including nasal sprays and inhalers, actually allowed my body to mend itself. That's not to say that I don't have asthma. That's not to say that I might never need the rescue inhaler
Right.
again, but it's rare. Yeah.
As needed thing is much better than a.
Yeah.
Now
Daily.
you're here. You go.
Terrible.
You're on
Yeah.
this like track that you just can't stop. And now I
And it
do
gets
have a.
worse then.
Yeah, like I have migraines. I've talked about this before. I do take migraine medicine if I get a migraine, and if it's
Yes.
bad enough that I just can't get it to go away, um, then I have to
Never a
do that.
daily, they have daily treatments. I refuse them.
Yeah, I mean,
The
I do
migraine,
take
yeah.
the magnesium that has been helping me. Now
Yeah.
we talked about that. If I can get the more bioavailable magnesium, it may be better. And actually, I don't know if I've talked to you about this since I learned about it, but there is a multi magnesium that has a whole bunch of different types of magnesium in them. I might be butchering that to some degree, but
You
it's
can
kind
do
of
that, but
that's what Apothecarial was talking about. Just to throw out
yeah, but
my
it's
guess.
it's there's some wisdom to separating it out. Like I've got both bottles in front of me this time so I can show you both. So, magnesium malate, and I specifically buy this brand. I love Source Naturals, but magnesium malate, this is because I'm a fibro patient. With fibromyalgia, we're typically deficient in magnesium and malic acid. But this is more energy production, that it's oriented to that. So this is in the
I see.
morning, two of those, which the dose is actually three, but I only need two because at night I'm going to take magnesium lysine glycinate
I see.
because I need to
Situations.
rest.
Hmm.
So I take two in the morning, one at night. That's both of them. I'm getting enough magnesium that way and everything else that I need with it. So, taking those together wouldn't be the best thing because at either end of the day, it's not, like I don't
Hmm.
want something that's going to be sedating at the beginning of my day.
I
And I don't
see.
want energy production at night. So,
I see. Yeah, I guess I'd have to look more into it, but that has helped me a little bit. And I guess it kind of sucks to think about the we could get rid of pharma, right? If we can try to get rid of pharma in our lives individually, you okay? I got off all these pills and medications, but then you have a whole new drawer full of supplements and other things that you take. And so in our minds, a lot of people, a lot of normal people would just see those as similar things. Like, well, what you want to get rid of all those so I can take all those.
no
But
side
in the
effects.
long term, yes, that was what I'm saying. The long term, you're going to have such a better,
Yeah.
outcome, at least from
I,
what I've seen.
you
My
know,
opinion. My
just
opinion.
in the time that we've been doing this, just the few months that we've been doing this together, I think you can see a difference. I feel better. I'm happier. I'm much more leveled out. And that's, it took a while. I've been on keto for not quite 2 years. It's been about a year and a half, a little bit more. That has made a difference. But yeah, that took time too. But with all the supplements and being off the meds for 3 years, a lot of the meds, just two. Again, the uh, carvedilol ER, it's an extended release that regulates my heart rate. I have a choice on that. I'm
Mhm.
still a heart patient, even though I have good ejection fraction. I'm still a heart patient. I get weird tachycardia. We got to level that out. So that's low dose. And then only 100 milligrams of hydroxychloroquine, you guys. I'm so ecstatic. That's the lowest dose I've ever taken, and I've been consistently on that for over a year at 100 milligrams. That's
Is that
amazing.
daily?
Yeah, but it's just enough to keep my immune system from going blah, and
Mm.
attacking my internal organs. Just enough.
Self cannibalism, like I said earlier.
Yeah. I
uh,
mean, it's a rare
cannibalism.
category, but it's a rare category that I want to see other lupus patients get into. And that's why I teach what I do. I want more people to get on that track of, can I get rid of this blood pressure med by just being more responsible and taking a walk every day? If it's that simple, why not?
But then you also have to bring into the account, like, wouldn't it be good if I took a walk every day regardless? Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? And so if that can
But
help
that's the
you
thing,
get,
if you start taking that walk, your blood pressure is going to come down and you're going to find I need to come off that because I almost passed out. Yeah.
yeah, well, you don't want to go too far down, right?
Well, that's the thing. You get rid of the med and then it's perfect.
Oh, this is funny. I think we might have talked about this already. I had to switch over to Facebook because I ran out of bookmarked things on X. Oh, gotta switch this over again. I wish they could let me do it differently, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. I was paying $100 a month for StreamYard. So look, I mean,
Ooh,
some of those StreamYard snob friends of mine, you can all have your StreamYard. I will take a couple extra steps and and use my Rumble Studios.
yeah,
Anyway, this is funny. Historic drop in demand for alcohol. I think we did talk about that before. But yeah, that's a good thing in my opinion. It's
that's
a
a very
literal
good
toxin.
thing.
Alcohol can be used for a lot of things in conjunction with things, other, making tinctures and stuff. But I think overall lowering of the consumption is good.
Recreationally, it's extremely easy to abuse.
Yeah. All natural lung detox. I think we talked about these. According to psychology, the words. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Words. Um, shop soursop bitters. Have you ever had soursop bitters?
Yeah,
Is it sour
yeah,
and bitter? Is it like
yeah. But I mean, I don't mind bitter. I don't mind sour. I don't like. I like those. Mm, There's some wisdom from Chinese medicine in that. But yeah, that's a soursop is a legitimate natural cancer treatment.
did we talk about this? Dyeing your hair in unnatural colors has been associated with higher reports of or reported rates of mental health instability.
Is that a joke?
I
Is
don't
that a
think so.
stab at some people?
Things you didn't know. Some research suggests that dyeing hair in unnatural colors is linked with higher reported rates of mental health instability. Researchers emphasize that this reflects a statistical correction or correlation, not proof that hair color causes mental health. Yeah, but like you're putting
Correlation
chemicals in
doesn't
your
equal
hair.
causation.
Maybe, but like there could be a correlation with the chemicals and all the because that person that dyes their hair probably also has done other things with their hair throughout their life and probably is somebody that does a lot of like different hair care, different kinds of products, right? And isn't there like I stopped using liquid
Well, there's the
shampoo
question.
because of that kind of stuff.
Is it because people that are mentally unstable dye their hair those colors?
Okay, is the chicken or the egg? Okay, that makes sense. Gordon, what's up? That
Not
makes a lot of
everyone,
sense.
mind you. Don't come at me. Just percentages.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. We can move on, but it's just something you can do your own research. Let's see, sour sop. We can skip that. Feel like yourself again naturally. What's this guy have to say? Did we see this guy?
This is the
It's been a while since we've been on the Facebook list of things I've saved, but this is the Royal Discovery Royal Rife. Who? Dr. Royal Rife, Healing Legacy. Ooh, he might be a guru. Let's listen to him.
discovery Royal Rife tried to tell us about. He found that specific frequencies could destroy pathogens without harming healthy tissue. The microscope footage
Frequencies.
is haunting. Parasites exposed to 728 hertz, paralyzed within seconds, completely destroyed in 5 minutes. Imagine what this could have meant for your health. But here's the question nobody's asking. If this worked in 1934, where did it go? Why are you still in pain? Why are you still taking pills that don't fix anything? Recent testing of popular frequency apps reveals a disturbing truth. None generate pure sine waves, not one. When analyzed with an oscilloscope, they show digital approximations, choppy, distorted, ineffective. You've been listening to static, not healing frequencies. Phone speakers cannot produce the analog frequencies required for cellular penetration. It's physically impossible. And the
So he's going to sell us on something here, but frequency is
Yeah.
a thing, like for sure. He's about to sell something here.
apps are delivering noise to your ears, not signals to your cells. YouTube frequency videos, same fatal flaw. Compressed audio files, digital artifacts, zero therapeutic value.
He looks
you thought you were
real.
healing. You were just listening. And
Think
here's
that's
the part
AI? It
that
looks
should make you
real.
angry. Real frequency
Can't
devices
tell
that generate
anymore.
pure sine waves cost $10,000 to
I think
$20,000.
he's real.
Most people can't afford legitimate
Yeah.
frequency therapy, and that might be intentional. Think about it. If everyone had access,
There's
how
jump
many
cuts,
medications
like
would people stop
he's
buying?
just cutting.
Follow the money. It always tells the truth. But there's hope. The Kalminity frequency
His
system
mouth does look
changes
a
this
little
equation
funny.
completely. It generates frequencies through
That could
two
just be a
simultaneous
syncing issue.
frequencies, pure
Yeah.
analog sine waves delivered as sound, and electromagnetic PEMF waves delivered directly to your cells. This is what your body has been waiting for. Oscilloscope analysis confirms perfect sine wave generation, zero distortion, medical grade quality at a fraction of the cost. Clinical observations over 3-week trials show patterns that are impossible to ignore. Sleep quality improves dramatically using 528 hertz for cellular repair.
I
Chronic
think I've seen
pain,
this
the kind that's
before.
been with you for years, reduces with
It's
174 hertz therapy. Inflammation that nothing else could touch, significantly reduced. People are waking up feeling like themselves again. For the first time in years, their bodies are healing instead of deteriorating. The technology gap has been closed. Authentic frequency therapy is no longer locked behind a $15,000 price tag. Right now, 50% off with free shipping and a
there. It
1-year
is.
warranty included.
There's
Plus
the
the frequency
cell.
healing protocol guide.
Oh,
There's
she's doing it.
97
She's
completely
doing it.
free. The research
Oh
is crystal
yeah.
clear. Apps and YouTube
Granny's
videos
ordering it.
replicate what real frequency devices do.
I believe him here though. Like trying to get an app using your phone's technology to actually put a specific frequency out is going to be a little harder than. But
I do think that there's something legitimate to it. We know that frequencies can harm or heal. We already know that. You know, we talked about cats purring for one thing. My brother brought up an interesting point on that to like we don't know for sure whether that only benefits the cat or if it can benefit people adjacent to the cat. I believe that there's some benefit for it. As I said before, if I'm not feeling well, my cats will be laying all over me like they know, and it does make you feel better, whether that's psychological or whatever. Okay. But we got frequencies that'll cause damage like there are weapons. We've known that for a long time,
oh,
you know.
Grok says no. Grok says no.
Know what?
Are not real in the way they're typically promoted online. Those specific
Well,
claims,
yeah, that's the thing.
miraculous
Yeah.
DNA repair, chakra
Or
alignment,
particular
curing
device.
diseases, or organ specific healing, are largely pseudoscience rooted in. Uh, so pseudoscience doesn't always mean like so. So remember, AI,
Do you
a
trust
large
Grok?
language model. Well, large language model, it's going to side with whatever the majority of
It's
information
gonna side
says.
with the medical industry.
Right. Well, that too. And now, if you want to see an entire space on, or listen to an entire space on frequencies and the whole ups and downs of it, Apothecaro did a Sunday, a holy health space on frequencies and not just healing, but like hurting, harming frequencies, negative frequencies. When somebody is in a bad mood and thinks that that frequency can affect yours, and there's also a whole different world of frequencies, and there's a
Look what music can do.
yeah, with music, with vibration, a lot of things are vibration. Like
Singing bowls.
a lot of things, we like there's science coming out that says like everything is connected, even if it's like this solid object and this solid object. Like we're all like between photons and they're like I'm gonna butcher it, but like they found a way to teleport a photon and because they're finding out that everything is so connected on a molecular level that
Huh.
we don't know, and it's about the frequency. Like basically, again, I will butcher this, but there was something to do with like this the solid desk. If the frequencies were able to match, you could just put your hand through the desk because of the space between molecules is so great that we could, that we could actually fit. It's just that the frequencies keep us separated anyway. Do your own research on that stuff, guys. It gets so crazy, but there
Yeah.
is something to it, and that goes back to, like, we got Lila Rose in the house with the crystals, and having different things like that, or copper um, in the garden. All these things, that there is a vibrational frequency to everything, and some of it can affect you in good ways, and some of it can affect you in bad ways. I don't think it's going to cure your disease, but I bet you that it could be like one more little thing we stack on the pile of doing something better for us, right? I don't know. This is like maybe at least not a bad thing to look into this
Yeah.
stuff. There's a lot more to it,
Oh,
I'm sure. Claims versus
I'm laughing
evidence.
over here because I'm like, I'm dealing with my own technological issues with my body today. I've got a nerve that's driving me nuts. Like I really thought there was a fly or something, and I've got a nerve that is irritated. I'm like, what the heck?
Like you have one of those spasms. You ever have like an eye spasm where it's like bouncing around on you?
Yes. And this is just a tickle. It's like, make it stop. It's gonna be one of those days.
Wow. So Grok doesn't give this much reality at all. Basically, music
Well, it's
therapy is
because
the
of
only
the
thing.
it's the cost. So, look into red light therapy, same thing. Cheap device, not so effective. But it is legitimate, like
To
the vet
all
appointment I had yesterday was to get Batgirl in for one of her cold laser therapy treatments. That now costs me $36 a session. She hasn't needed one since early February, but she's having a flare. It's an autoimmune condition. So I had to get her in there for that. But, let's say you buy a similar device off Amazon, it may not be effective like what they're using on her, you know.
We got Diane says I was listening to Led Zeppelin and Alice Cooper in high school, and then Bob Seger. So yeah, music and frequency. I this
Yeah.
is listen to this. I asked Grok a different pointed question. Do all things have a frequency? Yes. In
Yes.
a qualified scientific sense, all physical things exhibit vibrational behavior or have associated frequencies, but not in the simplistic magic HZ number for healing. I didn't ask for that. Way the healing way often implied online. This stems from fundamental physics, not pseudoscience.
McClara, magnesium malate. Please consider that if you're not already taking it. That knocked down a lot, like the last bit of my fibro symptoms, basically. It is miserable. It's a very miserable condition. Consider that supplement. Go to Amazon and get Source Naturals, a bottle of 180 tablets. It's cheap. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
I
arguing
always
with
hate for
Grok
people to
now.
suffer with that condition when it's,
Hmm.
in a natural approach can actually be largely resolved. It's this supplement saved me. This is what I started before I went to Yosemite to hike Half Dome, and it changed my life. Yeah. But yeah, everything does have a frequency. You are correct. Even, just a table, you know. Yeah.
So Grok says, no, not all pseudoscience is automatically incorrect, and then goes on to say, in the sense that every single claim within it is false, but the vast majority of its core assertions are either demonstrably wrong, unfalsifiable, or unsupported by rigorous evidence. That's the part. Unsupported by rigorous evidence, meaning the current thinking of science, or the current mainstream, I should say, the current mainstream thinking of whatever it is, and that is a lot of times wrong. We find out all the time it's a literal, like, trope in movies where you have the one guy that's speaking out against everyone else that's saying, no, we got to do this, we got to do this. The one guy saying, no, we got to do this other thing, and he ends up being right. Right, that's a trope we see, like, a whole bunch throughout history, and movies, and everything. It's so funny though. Let's see. The key issue isn't that pseudoscience is not fully proven yet. It's that pseudoscience operates outside the self-correcting rules of actual science, which makes its claims unreliable or by design. The self-correcting rules of actual science. What does that mean? I don't know what the self like science
A lot
is
of mumbo
never
jumbo.
settled. So in my opinion, science is not settled. There is no settled science. Just I guess temporarily settled. I guess, but yeah, for it to be have rigorous self-correcting rules, I don't know about that. So what's self-correcting? Meaning like the tall blade gets the or tall grass gets the blade kind of self-correcting or you know anyway, I'm gonna stop arguing with Grok now. It was fun, Grok, but you're not gonna agree with me on this. It's just not gonna happen. Rosa Buza is stuck in the train station, delayed. Oh, you're in Syracuse. Well, I hope it gets going soon, Rose. Tell us, take some pictures on the train. I want to see it. Doctors don't know anything but give a drug. I mean, I wouldn't say that, Diana. There's somewhere in between. There's plenty of doctors that are really, really knowledgeable people, but a lot of times either their hands are tied, they don't get enough extra time to research anything new, so they're being like their minds are like made up from the stuff they researched when they were in college, 20 years before that or whatever. Like, yeah, they do get some. I hate to be absolutist. There are some doctors that do keep up with new techniques and stuff like that, but not a lot. Like there's tons of them that kind of get stuck in that everyday grind, like an endless list of patients, and they kind of do things how they learn it. And most of us do. Most of us have like this vision of it's almost like we never stopped being a kid, right? We never left high school. Most adults have this, I guess, baseline, right? From when you were
Yeah.
growing up. You have this baseline from when you first became an adult, and that's kind of where everything, I don't want to say absolutely that everything sticks that way, but you kind of have this, like my brother. I always made fun of my brother. He dressed like he was in the 80s. He still dresses like he's in the 80s to this day. Like he never left the 80s. He's still there. He's got his, his jeans and his tennis shoes and and his cigarettes and he's just still there. And I'm not saying everyone is that to that degree, but like we all have this sort of biasy or maybe baseline in our mind from at some point in our life previously that you just don't stay. Like for me, some people say I'm movie buff or I know all these movies, and I do. I grew up on movies and TV, but not the last 10 years or so. I can name some of the big ones, but you know what I mean. Like it is something that
Yeah.
I didn't keep up with. And it's kind of similar in science where it's like you might have studied science for 10 years when you were younger, and then you just kind of moved on. But science never stops evolving. It just never stops.
Well,
And
your
then
brain is fully developed around 25, give or
yeah.
take. There's probably some merit to the idea that when your brain hits that full maturation, there are some things that don't change very much from that point. And that's not very long out of
Yeah.
high school,
Yeah.
you know.
Like references. You see this all the time with when I watch Kill Tony. He'll have guests on that are older comedians, and they're throwing out these references of stuff that you're not going to get unless you're an older person. Like they're throwing out older references, older names of people, and that's because that's their reference points. Like they don't have a lot of the and that's again not everybody, but it's just kind of a generality that you see a lot of times where people when they're referring things, they'll refer some movie or whatever, and that's just a pop culture thing. But we all have this cultural connection where if we saw the same movie, oh yeah, you saw that too, like earlier Brenda saw the same movie that I was talking about, like oh cool, and so there's that connection, and that's why people reference movies. That's why people reference pop culture because it gives you that connection. And nowadays you have so much to watch that you can't really be that connected with anybody on any pop culture. There's just too many options, right? And I'm also contributing to the problem by being an option to watch. So here we are, back to square one. But anyway, we're at the 2 hours. I'm going to start filling out the wheel to do the final spin. Um,
Sorry, I
any
was just
last
doing a
thoughts
quick
on?
search
No, it's
because I
okay.
was trying to understand the comment here that doctors
Oh,
aren't allowed to give pain medication anymore. That's not
uh,
like that. You're talking about a specific condition, your particular case. What they can still prescribe pain meds, including the
maybe
heavy duty
because the
ones.
doctor themselves aren't giving it to you, they prescribe it, but they
No,
can't. Maybe is that what she's talking about?
I mean you still got to go to a pharmacy, but yeah, doctors can still prescribe it. You don't have to go to a particular clinic or anything. Um, It could be for specific conditions, they may be limiting it more. I know they are, kind of cracking down on that. Um,
Hmm.
with chronic conditions, they're less likely to, you know, this nerve is going to drive me nuts.
Maybe they're just not wanting to keep stacking on uh, to your
Yeah.
tolerance. I don't know your situation, Diane, but I know that you have some severe issues going on. You just had surgery, like um, or you're going to have surgery again. I don't remember the details, but I know
Well,
it's
and with surgical cases, they definitely, they're going to do pain control, but only for a limited time. That I
yeah.
know. It's chronic conditions that they don't want to keep people on long term, which then goes back to what's your solution? Having access to a dispensary is important. I think it should be all 50 states. Yeah.
I agree. I think it should be
Georgia,
federally
that's why.
legal. I think it's just the
Georgia.
fact that everything that they do now, they being anyone in power, has this
Okay,
football
so
game going on with every issue.
yeah,
Go ahead.
if you use cannabis, you can't get pain meds. That's everywhere as far as I
Oh,
know. Yeah, that's true.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
but
why,
she's
like,
saying she can't get enough of that right now either. She needs some
yeah.
seeds and some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So like if you're in a pain management program, like going to a clinic or any kind of contract like that where they test you, yeah, you can't do pain meds and cannabis. They won't allow it. Yeah. That's,
Andrew
yeah.
King.
Which I'm not sure I entirely agree with. It's, but that is
Yeah,
how it is.
maybe as long as you tell them there could be something that works in combination that you wouldn't need as much of in that
Yeah.
case, like hey, maybe we could, because like for instance with my migraines, I'm supposed to take this sumatriptan with 2 Tylenol because they work in conjunction, they work better in conjunction with each other, and they really do. I've tried one and I've tried them separately, and it works better when they're together. And so there could easily be something out there that they could prescribe that would complement it, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
they just
Well, and also like I mentioned last night in that space, my friend Julie Joe in Arizona, she's posted about this, so I'm not revealing it. She's talked about it publicly. Like me, she's kind of an awareness advocate. So she was in a pain management program going to a clinic, and she was the one that her medication said as needed, which is how she was taking it. They tested her and it wasn't in her system because she hadn't needed it.
hmm
And they yanked her access to it because it was basically an accusation that you're not taking your med, which means you must be selling it. That's
oh,
crazy. You're mad at me because I didn't need my meds right now?
hmm.
Really?
That is interesting because they're worried about you selling it, or
You know what she said? She said after that, she goes, from now on, I'll make sure I take some before I go to get tested.
yeah.
Somebody shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, that seems kind of backwards, but I'm not discounting that it's true that people sell medication. I've sold medication. I used to get pain meds that I don't like. I don't like uh, Norcos or whatever they're called. They make me sick. They make me feel bad. And so yeah, at the time this was
Yeah.
during the 10 years of darkness. I'll call it that I didn't care about. I didn't think I should live. I didn't think I needed to be here anymore. All those kind of things. And so, did I give a crap about doing something illegal? No, I needed to pay my bills. And at the time, I
Yeah.
couldn't. At the time, it was this self-destructive spiral where I couldn't not smoke cannabis because it was like the only thing keeping me from you know, going insane. And
Yeah.
but then on top of that, I was depressed because I couldn't get a better job because it's hard to, the drug test and the situation, it's hard to get through that. It's doable, but it's stressful and it's an anxiety and like, and so I would get stuck in these like crap jobs and just like this whole like self-destructive cycle. And I would sell the medication the VA was giving me so that I could get more cannabis because that's, I needed, so it was maybe not necessarily right or wrong, but it was just something that you don't know what people are going through unless you're in their shoes, right? And so
Yeah.
for them to be so worried about us, what we're doing with the medication that they are pushing on us so hard, but not be concerned with the fact that the medication is being pushed on them to push to us, right? Like not look at it the other direction. They're just being paid to, scrutinize us and not scrutinize the hand that feeds them, being the pharma industry that's out there making stuff up, like, creating
Mm.
medications, creating a problem so they can create a medication. And just and not everything. Obviously, there's plenty of med. We talked about it already. Both of us are on meds that seem to work, but I feel like asking that doctor, like, well, I mean, can you tell me anything about, like, ask him something in the reverse, and you know what I mean? Like, can you, like, when's the last time, this, you bring in like this whole paperwork, like, well, the pharmacy are, the company that makes that was just fined this much money from this lawsuit, and oh, there was this lawsuit. What about
Doctors
this?
don't know that stuff.
Yeah, it just would be funny to just kind of throw it back to them, but
I'm that way. I always know
yeah,
more about it than they
ornery.
do, you know.
And they don't like that. They don't like that when you come in with knowledge. And even, you know what, I can understand it from a perspective, from a professional perspective. You get people that come in with this like limited knowledge that they think they have the answer, they have the, like, all this stuff, and I could see the annoyance from a doctor's perspective. Oh, okay, you read an article, okay, thanks for telling me about it. but
I've
but they
had that reaction.
Right, and they run across people like you where it's like, oh, this person did actually do the research.
Yeah, in
Anyway,
depth. But they don't have time for it. Look how many patients they see. Now, my doctor's used to it now, but the funny interaction we had one time was when I was doing those really brutal um, cortisone injections in my heels for the plantar
oof,
fasciitis.
ouch.
We were talking about where the injection needed to be the first visit, and it's like, well, I've got pain in the Achilles tendon here, and then I've got the metatarsalgia at the bottom of my foot. And he's listening to me and he goes, well, I'm thinking here, and he points to the inside, the side of my heel, and I'm all, really? And he goes, he turns his laptop around and he goes, well, that's what Dr. Google says. And I'm all, you did not just Google me.
You Doctor Googled me. Wow.
You just Googled. He said, Dr. Google. He's all, I'm all, you just Googled my treatment. Are you serious?
Elisa
So,
May
look,
comes in
guys,
with a storm. Go
doctors
ahead.
do an online search too. They do the same thing.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
he
they're
was
just googling
right.
it.
He was right, okay? And it's a very painful injection, but it works. So the thing is, when you go the side of the heel like that, you're going across and you're getting into that plantar fascia, and you can feel it. The injection, he's working his way back as he's injecting. You can feel the medicine traveling up your foot. It's freakish, but it
Reminds me of when I
works.
got that MRI and they put the contrast, and it's like you feel it going through your veins. Yeah,
I've never done contrast, but yeah, I've
you can
know
feel it.
people who
Yeah,
have.
it's like
Yeah.
flushes through your system. Um,
Yeah.
Elisa May comes in with like like just a storm of comments. I think we hit the topic for her, but she said she just told her son's psychiatrist um, that she wants him off the meds, that they aren't working, and back on medical marijuana.
Mm,
And of course, yeah, they don't get kickbacks for cannabis, so they wouldn't. But they might soon, because now being the schedule change, you'll be seeing pharma labeled THC products that are
yeah.
synthetic in all sorts of ways. Um, I'm
I'm not
sad. I
real
got to
crazy
the
about the
point where I felt like
synthetics, obviously.
now he
Yeah.
acts like he don't want to take him off. Oh, he doesn't want to take him off now that he's on those meds, right? Yeah, because he'll lose that. I don't know
Well,
if
plus
it's
the control.
specifically money, but yeah, he wants the
It's not
control in
just
his
that.
hands.
It's the insurance companies. I think I told you about this one, the doctor that I was refusing a test, and he smirks at his medical student, and he goes, "She's gonna mess up my scores." And I said, "Excuse me?" So
Mm.
understand that they're being evaluated and scored by that insurance company. They're trying to please the insurance company. I I basically tell my doctor, "Look, I know they're not gonna be happy with you, but what you want is for me to be happy with you. Because if I'm not happy, I'll fire you. It's that simple."
Wow, Diane, you haven't had any pain blocks in 8 months. No, all of
Oh,
your seeds are not sprouting. Diane, we will get you some seeds, but obviously that will take you some time to get those grown and everything. We might be able to find some way to help you in the meantime. Let me talk to you. We'll talk to you offline. But Elisa says this is interesting. Chat GPT is being sued because they had a 20-year-old boy that he could that told the boy that he could use kratom with Xanax, and then he died. Which I don't know
yeah, I'm
what
not
the
pro on
like.
kratom. I worry about that one.
Yeah, that one's iffy to me too. But I wonder what the exact like reasoning was. Like what happened? Did they worked they together become toxic? I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I would
it's
never
crazy.
mix it with anything, and I'm not pro on it to begin with, but mixing it with stuff, that's yeah,
Well, and that's the thing though, mixing like we don't think about all the things we're mixing together in our bodies, even outside of medications or what
even
we think of
food.
as chemical. That's what I mean, food. And
Yeah.
so when we get to the fact that I think I'm getting more vitamin C because I'm eating more whatever vitamin C, and we don't realize, and I've talked about this a few times, but there are a bunch of foods, especially processed foods, that will bind to those vitamins,
Yeah.
those essential vitamins and minerals, and just flush that stuff right out our system. And so we
Or
think, oh,
not.
I'm or that, yeah,
Grapefruit.
you end up with a concentration of stuff that you
Yeah,
don't want in your system. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Dairy, grapefruit. That's your easiest quick examples for people to explain why food can be a problem. Some things you can't take with dairy, others you can't take with grapefruit. Grapefruit stops your body from processing it through your liver. Dairy will, bind to stuff and mute the effect. There's like antibiotics that you can't take with dairy, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Probably used too much kratom at once. Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Betty, are you still here? Elisa says, "Yeah, I told him his quality of life is the most important." Yeah, I agree. I was on
Yes.
Xanax from the military because of depression, and they did all these questions, and I was honest with them, which a lot of times people are not honest because they don't want the labels, they don't want the drugs, they don't want whatever it is. And when I came home and everything, that did the demob and stuff, and then they ended up prescribing me this type of Xanax. I don't know what it was called, but it was Xanax. And I was just like a zombie. I was like
Mhm.
I wasn't. I might have been functional, but I wasn't enjoying anything about anything. Like I wasn't having any kind of
That's
joy in
one of the
life.
complaints of people who take meds for bipolar. I've known people who said that, as in like one that know of in particular. I remember he was an artist, and he said it kills my muse. It just I don't feel anything.
Hmm.
There's no depth. So he chose to be unmedicated, even though it was difficult and there were a lot of highs and lows. He said, if I can't do my art, then who am I? You know.
Teens are ordering medicate medicine, having it delivered to their house, and parents don't know about it. A girl ordered anxiety meds and died because it ended up being fentanyl. Well,
And you
that's,
know
I mean,
what?
you can order drugs online from somewhere that you think is legitimate,
Yeah.
but it could be illegitimate. Go ahead.
Look, the if I got a med that I take every day and I open it and it looks different, here's what I do. You know,
Hmm.
round white pill, letter R. You know what I'm saying? Like that's instant on Google. You
Yeah.
can look it up, identify same med, okay, different manufacturer. That's why I always double check. But a child, a teenager's a child. They're not going
Mhm.
to know. Yeah.
Betty, I don't think Betty's here. I will have to respin. I got to do one more raid this month, so we're going to do that today. I got to make a
Yeah,
bunch of shorts.
with
But
some meds you just have to separate the grapefruit from the med, but yeah, with some it's possible that you can't eat it at all. Yeah. You have to be very conscientious on that.
my son's mom has high blood pressure, and I always thought, why aren't you just eating more grapefruit instead of this medicine they're
This
giving
is
you?
the question I asked my doctor. I said, you got me on an ARB. It's a potassium sparing med. I understand how this works. Why don't I just take potassium? Well, standardization of dose. I'm
Mhm.
like, stop it. That's how I got off that is I eat potassium containing foods, and for a while I took a supplement. I don't need that
If you're
ARB
eating whole
anymore.
foods that have these
Yes.
things in them, your body knows how much of it to take and how much of it to flush out.
Yeah.
Like as long as you're not eating other things that bind you up, and that's where we went go back to the processed foods. It will keep everything in your system and hold on to
I
it.
don't
And
need that med anymore.
yeah, so there's a big difference there. Let's Sheena, are you here? I don't think I haven't seen her comment in a little bit. Betty, you're a little late. I'm sorry. You're two spins ago. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can give that to you. I'm sorry. This is funny. The random music that it's playing is a fan. it's a
Funny,
it's
that I can't hear. But switching
zzz.
back to this like I did today, I was able to hear the intro song through
Oh,
my laptop.
huh. I think
Usually I
maybe they
can't.
fixed that. Alice, are you
Yeah.
still here? Betty, are you with Alice? Tell her to get
At
over
least
there.
one thing's fixed. They're together, right?
Right. My camera
You're in the
doesn't
same
work.
black hole somewhere.
Right. You sound good right now, and I don't hear any echo or anything. But I would like to see you, your new mic and stuff work out.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
gonna order one. Like I said, I just gotta kind of grit my teeth and pay a little bit more, but I know what it is I need.
it shouldn't have to be like higher cost item. Like it should be something
Not
else.
this
But
year, right? The
yeah.
tech should be more available. But here's the problem is I gotta get,
Hey, Alice is
uh,
here.
because of my issues, the sensory stuff, I need one this lightweight that also has a boom and has the dongle to plug in. So it's highly
Dongle.
specific.
She said dongle.
Dongle.
Uh, Elisa, a couple last comments. Something that starts with a B, beetroot. It's something are supposed to be going for high blood pressure. Good for high blood pressure.
It helps
Beetroot,
some.
maybe.
Also
Yeah,
energy production, like nitric oxide, or is that right? Nitric, I think that's right, yeah.
possibly.
For like muscle efficiency, working out.
Alice, congrats. We had Alice won 3 times already this week. And it hasn't even been game night yet. So Monday we had a double winner. Alice won the number wheel and she won the door prize. Yesterday we had another double winner. Margaret Jet wins the number wheel and the door prize. And now today we have Diane winning the number wheel and Alice again winning the door prize. Uh, very, very lucky week for Alice. Now, tomorrow we're going to have people in the boxes, of course. We're going to talk this week, Tala, about how do you improve your mood? How do you find joy in life? And there's a lot of obvious ones, right? Music, exercise. But we're gonna dig deep and we're gonna hear some stories from the panel about how what did they do to sort of combat depression and increase mood. I haven't decided how I'm going to word it exactly yet, um, but maybe just where's the joy at in life. But we'll see. And then of
Mindset.
course, yeah, mindset. And then Friday I have game night again. We'll be doing it. I haven't fully decided. I have to make some calls. I just talked to the owner of Grow Up Gardening in Pekin, which is where I've been doing this at, and he's in a different city. So I finally was able to talk to him, and he's all for me getting. Now I have to pay for it, but he says if I upgrade their internet, put it in my name, and pay for it, then he's all for it. Which it's a cost, but if I'm talking about a an event with potentially a couple hundred people could come to this event.
Yeah.
Maybe not a couple hundred, that might be exaggerated, but like throughout the night, like it could definitely be that much. And this is in person, not even including the hundreds of people who watch the show online. So it's a huge, huge opportunity, guys. But I want to tell you that it might still be a month before I get it all dialed in. This Friday, I think I still want to go back and do it there again, just to kind of keep myself in that mentality. But if we don't get the internet upgraded by Friday, then of course we're going to have to do it the way we did last week, which is just me on the screen and rolling dice or doing something else for you guys. So we'll make it happen, and I hope you guys are going to bear with me for the next few weeks. But we do still give away hundreds of dollars every week on game night, and now we're going to have facility that I can, and also that there's a couple other issues that we talked about that weren't resolved previously. Like there was no bathroom in the facility. Like I was thinking about renting a porta potty and stuff like that. And so he said there is supposed to be a bathroom that's supposed to be working there, so that they might have to get fixed themselves. But little things, guys. And I'm mostly talking to people that might be coming. I know there's some local friends watching. I know Elisa May, Jeremy were both in the chat. You're both close enough to maybe make it some Friday night. And I know babysitters with notwithstanding, but yeah, there's local people watching that may not comment always that I think we can get involved with this. It's a big thing. I don't know how much of it I told you about Tala, but it's a warehouse that does allow, smoking is allowed. So it can be
Yeah.
kind of a fun place to have a game show where we could actually do in person players with the people online. And I'm going to have a TV that the in person guests can watch the action from the online. And then the camera, of course, will
Oh,
capture the people in person. It's going to be this interactive. I don't know yet. It's going to be fun though. It's going to be fun. I'm already trying it, but it hasn't caught on. I haven't been pushing a lot of local people to come yet because of this internet issue. I want to get everything resolved to where
yeah.
it's fully up and running and everyone can be on screen and do the thing how we normally do it. Um, I'm just telling everybody because been meaning to put that out this week, and
But
we
also,
go
that
ahead.
logo, by the way, I'm really happy with how that came out. You guys, that was a collaborative effort.
Yeah, yeah,
We
I
worked on
appreciate
that
your help on
together.
that. Appreciate your help on that. I like to get other people's input because I can make a dozen of them and be like, I don't know which one I like the best.
It looks
Um,
good. I'm happy.
I wanted to make sure it stood out, and I wanted to make sure that I could cut it out. I actually cut it out before with the space background, and it blended
Yeah.
in with the black, and then cut parts of it off I didn't want cut off. Anyway, long story, but I still like making things myself digitally, and it's already cheating. Like people talk about using AI too much, and yes, I try not to. I use it when I have to, and I use it for fun sometimes. But at the same time, it's already cheating to be using Canva or some other program that has all these
Yeah.
preloaded
It's all
images. All I
tools.
have to do is post them up there, put them,
Unless you're
slap them
getting a
together.
pencil and paper, I mean,
Yeah, like there's not like there's
it's being
definitely.
created with a tool. That's it.
Yep, tools. Yes. Anyway, we can get going. I think I will open up another little, or no, I think we're gonna shut all the other destinations off and we'll stay on Rumble for a little after show. But we'll let Tyler get out here, of course, if you want to. Otherwise, we're gonna be watching some music videos and maybe just a little Kill Tony and stuff. We do some fun stuff on the after show. What would you, if you don't hang out? That's fine. You don't have to stay. What would you request? What's a go-to song from Tala?
Oh man.
We'll let you make the first request because we can do that on Rumble. It's fun over there. We can make people request songs, pull up the video, good stuff. But
I
we're
have
gonna do
such a
that in just.
broad range of interests. I don't even know.
That's okay. Maybe you can get back to me on it because I like hearing other people's musical interests, and I might even add it to the ultimate playlist of WTIF that's on YouTube. You guys can go and see it. It's public playlist that
I
I've been
can't remember
making.
if you did you listen to that song that I played at my for my outro last night?
I wasn't there. I had to go and read a book to
That
my
was an
son.
interesting one.
Yeah, you can get it to
Sure.
me. It's okay.
I'll grab the link.
Um, in the meantime, and of course, you don't have to leave right this second. You can leave right after we switch it over because I'm going to play this little outro, and by the time the outro's over, we'll be on just Rumble. So stick around with us for a little after show here, guys. It's been a good one. Hit the like button if you're leaving, and come find us on Rumble. It's free. It's free. All right. We'll see y'all later. Remember, everybody's got to eat.